Welcome everybody to the Total Nonstop Impact Talk for Impact fans, featured right here on the TNI network. This is Trent Law, my co-host J-Bone Bill, and Mark, Uncle Mark. We're going to call you Uncle Mark. It should be on your name. And this is the NWA-TNA number 55 throwback to the Throwback Thursday review. What's going on, gentlemen? What's happening? Everybody feeling good? J-Bone?
Oh yeah,
you're sighing already, J-Bone. You're worrying me. What's going on?
No, I'm good. It was a long day. It was a long day, and just to make sure, is everybody approved? Is everybody approved?
J-Bone's approved.
Approved. Oh, is that for your vaccine, J-Bone? Is that what that is?
No, that's I went to the hospital with Tracy today.
Okay. And you got approved?
She had, well, you have to be approved to get into the building. So they give you a card. No, she had a procedure done. It's one of 3 steps to do nerve blocks on her knee. That's bad. So
where can people send a good well wish to Mrs. J-Bone to feel better?
Just send them to me. I'll pass them on. She's out cold.
Send them a J-Bone, everybody. Hey, look, I got approved too. Look at that. Hey, I've been approved. Huh? Look at that. Approved.
No, but what's funny is because she has a horrible phobia of needles. So to get into the procedure, the doctor was nice and said, look, we'll give you a Valium. We'll give you a Valium and we'll let it settle in and you'll be fine. She's like, well, the last one I took knocked me out. I'm like, he's like, oh, I'll give you. I'll just don't worry. We'll make sure you're fine. So she takes this Valium. Guess when it kicked in?
Right when you got home.
After the procedure. Right when
that sucks.
Right when she got back to the room where I was waiting for her. It was not very long. She was literally. It was like a 10-minute procedure. Not even. She gets back to the room, and she's like, oh. And I'm like, what? She's like, it's kicking in. And then the rest of the day was just effing hilarious. Mrs. J-Bone on a Valium? Good Lord. Just going through the drive-thru at Burger King. What an adventure. I never do. Just going through the drive-thru. What would you like? I don't know.
So it's like a 2 a.m. J-Bone Smashes podcast.
Yeah. Like overtired, drooling a little. Welcome to Burger King. Can I take your order? I don't know what cheese.
And I don't know what cheese. Mark, this sounds like maybe you after the treehouse sometimes. What's is that pretty accurate?
I'm feeling it right now. Like I'm with Mrs. J-Bone. Yeah, no, I did wear the treehouse shirt in honor of our boy Trey Miguel coming back home. I wasn't here on Tuesday.
Take that shirt off the discount racks. It's good again.
Right.
It's good again.
Man, oh man,
just put an X through the other guy. No, I'm kidding.
Rascals forever. I know.
Just put Triple H heads on them.
Yeah. Oh God! Who's in the middle? Who's in the middle in the shirt?
Trey.
Oh, Trey, of course.
Perfect.
So if you want an MSK shirt, you can just buy that shirt, put a Triple H face in the middle, and it's that photo.
Why would you? Then you're gonna throw up every time you look at your shirt. Don't do that. Like put somebody else's face on there. But hey, before I forget, to shout out to Hakeem Fullerton, whose article today was about Aya, and it was like the 5 greatest Ty Valkyrie moments. Everybody should check that out. It was awesome. I got a little teary-eyed when I read the section on the AAA, the Lucha event in New York, where she won that match with Tessa. That's my favorite match.
Yeah.
She had with Tessa. That was such a good one.
That was a show stealer. I was there for that. That was a show stealer.
You were there? I didn't know you were there, Bill. You went to that?
I didn't know you were there either.
Oh, wow.
So it was.
I was not on the front row.
It was not at MSG, right?
It was in Madison Square Garden, but it was in the theater, which is where they used to do the like NFL draft years ago. That has like the lighted ceiling, so it's a little a smaller.
It looks
venue.
weird. I love the setup though for that show.
It's really
the
cool.
ring, very cool.
My my sister's graduation was in that room when she went to New York City, and they did it in the theater. And then, Bill, didn't they used to always early days do UFC run out of that theater at one point or something? I could have sworn.
Yeah, boxing, some MMA, they've run out of that because it's a real big, huge boxing venue, the theater, because obviously the Garden's huge. And that's what they were trying to. AAA was trying to do because remember that was on the heels of New Japan and Ring of Honor. Well, New Japan Ring of Honor. Selling out that show.
Right. I enjoyed the Lucha show. What was it? Lucha Invades New York. Is that what it was called?
Lucha does New York, I think.
Yeah, it was something like that.
That was a great show. I mean, I know we're super off topic, but if anyone hasn't seen that, seek that one. It's fun. Last year, right?
Yeah, hey, still like to see a lot of those AAA talents maybe make their way here at some point.
Yeah, there's some happening. Yeah, I'm sure something's gonna happen. So
give us Vikingo.
Dude, Vikingo's the one everybody wants. That's the kid everybody's looking for, man, is Vikingo. So we'll hopefully
that kid is sick.
Yeah,
he's incredible.
He's something else. So yeah, I mean, he was nominated for the our match of the year with Josh Alexander. Yeah, figure that. You know,
and he should have been nominated for 2 because the other one he had on that same set of tapings with TJP was.
That's right. That's
absolutely incredible.
Yeah, I think the TJP match was better, and the Josh match was great too. But I think the TJP match, I think that was very much in my contention for match of the year.
Same. Wow. Same.
No kidding. All right. Well, cool. Shit. Well, guys, we're just talking about
under the radar may have had the most match of the year candidates.
He did.
Him and Deanna.
Very under the radar too. You're right.
Deanna Elgin before,
And Deanna was like half a year only too. That's the crazy thing. Deanna's midway through. Let's not forget that. That's what makes Deanna.
Everybody's list had multiple Deanna matches on it. Every list you read of matches of the year had multiple Deanna matches on it. She's the common thread that bound every match for everyone together. She deserved her accolades.
But Susan is going to get on us if we don't get on topic, right, Trent?
That's right. Susan is going to be waving her finger at us. So let's get on topic. Guys, we're here to talk NWA-TNA number 55 weeks into this. And it's a lot of fun. This was a lot of fun to do. I mean, I am still enjoying this a lot. It's so much. It's like Mark and I were talking about yesterday. We were texting until like 3 a.m. I don't know why we were up so late, but we were texting a little late. And we were just like, it's so laid back to do this one because it's like, the main show, a lot of people watching us. Everybody's keeping an eyeball on Impact. It's also keeping an eye on us, and we're doing the main show. But this one, it's nostalgic. It's fun to see a different time period. I'm going to see what kind of brought us to the dance. I love that J Bone's watching for the first time. It's excited to do it with Jay.
Oh, I love these. This one was just ridiculous.
Yeah, was great. This is a good one, man. This is a good one. So let's kick it off. Let's start off, guys. July.
Wait a minute. Yeah, can I get us off topic one more time? And I'll shut up. Didn't we used to have a different intro for the throwback?
No, like the show intro.
Yeah. Has it always been the same as the main show?
Well, once we went to the new one. No, we always end up using the same.
Yeah.
Yeah. No. Okay. We're supposed to get one that's custom for the throwback at some point.
Oh, okay. So, okay, cool.
But cool. That main intro has everything in it. It's like throwback plus weekly. You know what I mean?
Okay. So for some reason, I thought there used to be a different one for the throwback.
No, I don't think so.
Too much time in the treehouse.
Too much time in the treehouse. He's in the treehouse right now. All right. All right. But guys, NWA-TNA number 55 from the Asylum, July 23rd, 2003. Now, I was on my buddy Dave's couch. We ordered it $9.99, paid our $9.99, ordered some Chinese food and or pizza for the night, tucked ourselves ready to go, tucked ourselves in nice on the couch to watch this event because this was a hot one, main evented by AJ and D-Lo, best of 3. I want to know where you guys are doing. So J-Bone, where were you on July 23rd, 2003? What kind of misfortune was happening in J-Bone's life?
I don't remember what I was doing back in 2003, but I do have something to share, a little show and tell ish.
Oh, really?
This isn't from 2003, but this is.
We getting a visual?
Yes. Oh, this is from 10 years ago today. So this is the 10th year anniversary of me meeting Mr. One Brutus, the Barber Beefcake.
Oh my God, look at that.
At an IC. at an ICW show on the east side of Milwaukee.
Look at that.
Nice.
Brutus Beefcake. Still jacked.
Yeah, he was very jacked, and he was also very roasted.
J-Bone, you look way more roasted than he does in that photo. Let's be honest here.
I might have had a beer.
Or a beer. Or a few.
Jiminy Christmas. Usually for events like this, I don't drink too much. I have been known to, but no, this one I did not, because I was very excited to meet one of my childhood heroes, and you know how they say, never meet your heroes.
Is that how you ended up with no hair, J-Bone? Is that what happened? You were in the Beefcake, and that's what happened?
That's a story for another time.
Hey, when I was a kid,
if it wasn't on the Backstage Boys, then I don't know.
Yeah. Hey,
that was a good one. Good, nice plug, Bill. That was a good episode.
Thank you, Bill. Yeah, but J-Bone did appear on the Backstage Boys podcast this Monday. That is available on all platforms. So go check out the interview with the exclusive interview of Get to Know the Bone. Know the Bone. Nobody knows the Bone. We got to know the Bone. So
that was a lot of fun.
Well, we know she don't like meat, but she sure likes the bone.
The Bone. I'm going to close with you, Bill. So let me go to Mark real quick. Mark, where were you July 23rd, 2003? What the hell were you doing? Where were you living? Were you in Houston at this point?
I'm still in the West Chase area of Houston, still working downtown at a law firm and managing a video game store, using a bootleg cloned card satellite to watch NWA-TNA episode 55. Most likely, I'm probably getting home from work. My wife is maybe still making dinner. And there's a chance we could be on vacation because it's in the summer, but I don't know what we would be doing. Michigan, maybe something like that.
All right. Fair enough. Bill, summertime. This is 03. College is over. You the degree's in hand. He's got a couple of bucks that he got at his graduation party. They're dancing in his pocket. What was going on July 23rd, my friend? What was happening?
July 23rd. Well, you're getting real close to the birthday. So we're days away from a birthday. I'm thinking this one could have been maybe a Wednesday in the summer. Maybe the movies. It might have been a night at the movies.
Night at the movies? Outdoor, drive-in, or indoor theater?
Oh, not many drive-ins at that time. The drive-ins have pretty much gone away in my area around then.
We didn't have
so
drive-ins
a little late for
our
that.
days. Not like
so I early when I was a kid, there was still drive-in. There was a drive-in for some of those early movies.
Oh yeah,
back in the day. In the 80s. Not in the 2000s. But hey, wrestling, I did some drive-ins this year, so made a comeback a little bit.
Life comes full circle.
A little COVID times, the drive-in returns. Who would have thought?
Isn't that crazy?
But maybe a movie. Like I said, there definitely could be concerts because this is heavy concert season too. So probably indoors. I gotta go through like one of my old like stub books where I have a bunch of the old tickets because I could probably find out if I looked at like Philadelphia area concerts in this time, I could probably pinpoint the shows I was at. So maybe for next week I'll do that.
Let's do it. Very cool. All right, let's jump into it, guys. This is NWA-TNA number 55, over a year in. The company's over a year old at this point. So you're seeing it really kind of hit that next year, right? Like it's said, like they really got there's more of a groove now. Like almost like every week they gain more of a groove at this point. A couple of here and there. Like last week was a weird wonky type up and down show. The week before I think was one of the ones we like collective. I don't know. 53 I think was one that threw us off. Like, it was like really like up and down.
That was
so that was a weird one, right? So there's been some here and there's, but for the most part, I think they've worked. There's like that first wave of kinks has been worked out at this point, and we're kind of hitting a real stride. And this show to me really proves it. They start off hot. Like this is the main event on this. Let's put that out there. It's set to be a best of 3 between AJ Styles, D'Lo Brown, 3 different matches. And J-Bo, you want to list the matches? It's 1 and 2, then if needed a third. But what are the criteria for these?
The first one is it has to be done by pinning. The second one is by submission, and if you needed the third, which we did, it is a ladder match.
Yeah, pretty cool. They started off right away. They don't even wait. They go right in to match one. AJ D'Lo. Now, I want to ask you guys this. Bill, tell me, did I miss something? When did Trinity? This is the first time Trinity's come out with AJ, right? Or did she come out before? I did not remember her coming out with him before.
Not actually coming down the entrance, but she came out during his matches, I believe, before.
Okay, I'm like,
because she's been in that loose, not sports entertainment extreme, but Russo's crew with AJ. But I don't think she's been like his valet.
Right.
Until
first time valet.
Jay, do you remember anything else?
She's with Russo, and she's with
Russo. That's the connection.
Yeah, she's been spending more time with Siaki.
Yeah, so they're all intertwined. So that's where that is.
And Trini kind of has been showing up everywhere, honestly.
Yeah, it's all Russo.
But I would say it's first time she actually walked with him down the aisle, though. Trinity, right? It's interesting little
thing. For to go like this.
Yeah, right. Just do the thing. Interesting factoid, though. It's kind of like a little trivia point. Trinity managed AJ for at least one night, right? So it's kind of something to put in the trivia bank. This was a great match. I really wrote down just a solid match. Like, these two, the chemistry with AJ and D'Lo, I think is completely ignored. Mark, for some reason, this feud is never spoken of. I think it's a tragedy.
They really, we've said it every episode since D'Lo showed up that they missed an opportunity with him. He's so over. This is like peak hit for his in-ring. He looks amazing in every match. His chemistry with AJ is a perfect rival. The first match I thought was so good. I thought, man, how are they going to top this for the second and the third? And we'll talk about that when we get there. But one of those two matches tops this one. But this was a nice, long opening match. Did anyone clock this?
I didn't clock it. What do we got it at roughly? Yeah, if you guys got it.
Let me see if it's
very solid.
I don't have. This is one I don't have the time.
A little less than 8 minutes.
Oh, really? It felt longer. Maybe because it's from the lead segment. They just kind of continued right into the match. Like, it was a great opening segment. Like, I was immediately invested in this show because of the announcement of the best three, knowing, of course, we're going to get three.
Oh, yeah.
And with those two guys having three matches anchoring this show, like, I knew it was going to be a great episode, and it was.
Yeah, dude.
The crowd was packed to the rafters,
dude.
That upper tier, which Bill, we saw in person. There's that upper like crow's nest, and when they zoom out, sometimes this was packed. Like that's when you know it. They sold this one up.
Yeah.
Like people couldn't wait.
Filled up there.
Like that's the
room only.
Yeah, that's the spillover.
What was full house capacity at the Asylum with that?
Asylum was, if you did standing room, sometimes they would even let people stand in like the corners. Kind of what they used to do the Impact Zone a little bit. I think the Asylum would top out at 1,800 to 2,000.
Yeah, near 2,000 sounds right to me.
Yeah,
okay.
Like the Raven one, because the Raven one they maxed it. On like fire capacity, the Raven Jarrett match was like fire capacity, and they did a closed circuit outside for that one too. So it was like. They sold a shit ton for that one, but it was like 2,000 is like this if you really max them up.
It's a good house.
Good house, man. For a Wednesday night essentially a local show at that point.
Yeah,
it's a hell of a house. So the crowd was hot. We got the little interference. So Siaki interferes.
Yeah,
it causes AJ to win by pin. So AJ gets the first pinfall thing. So Siaki's like he's become the perpetual thorn in the side, and it's weird. Like. The Sonny Siaki perception that I once had before is like totally different now, man. I didn't realize like what a thorn in the side he just became all around. Like we almost saw it here though. When they kind of lost that trust in making him the main guy, you saw the shift in him. Like they really regulated him down. It was like, damn, I didn't realize it was that apparent, but they did.
And you do see the disappointment now. Like it's a precipitous drop off from the beginning where he is on the card in the first year to how limited his skill set is in front of the camera and in the ring. And then I got another dose of disappointment, like in the match right after this, where I was like, oh, I haven't seen him. I used to love him. And then not so much, really. I felt nothing.
Yeah, Rex I think 2,200 at max capacity at the asylum. So and Rex
we're
knows
in
all
the
the asylum trivia. So actually, Rex, put this in the chat. Rex, I keep forgetting. Were you the one? There was somebody who joins the live show who went to all of them, and he always comments on. I don't know if it's right. There's another guy too. I don't even think it's Rex. There's one other guy who was at every Wednesday show, and he always tweets us about it. And if you ever watch live, let us know who you are because he always tweets us. And he's like, I went to every one of these live, and he's the Bill of the asylum, is what it is.
Oh, nice.
So all right, so that's 1 AJ, no 0 Dila. Okay, Don West, everybody, red on red this week. Red on red. I was wondering if he was ever gonna like theme, like based on like if there's a hidden message in what Don's color scheme is, but red on red.
Oh, this is it's not just red. It's really
yes.
It's really red.
We had a screenshot. You know what's funny, Jay? I took the same screenshot that's of that same side. I love the adoring eyes of Mike TNA. Like the adoration.
Very nice.
I
can't. Mama's family in the back would ass jerk Styles.
Yeah, ass jerk Styles.
Oh, shit.
with Vince Russo. Is that it says that's a W. It says Russo.
He's a wuss. Wusso. That's what
I wonder if that was
Oh,
Vince's
Wusso.
autograph on the sign.
Rex is in the UK? I didn't know that.
Rex, I had no idea you're in the UK.
What the hell? I didn't either. Where in the UK are you, Rex? I didn't.
That's crazy.
Yeah.
So yeah, I had to share this because as soon as it came up on screen, I was like, oh my god, I'm taking a scrynshot of this. This is beautiful.
For the sign or the shirt? Yes.
Both. I'd say.
Yeah, both, because that really is like
That's one of his go-tos, the red on red. I think that's his most common
the red,
standard,
true.
not combo, because he's not comboing anything.
I love it though. I love that like this is like more recognized now than it was then.
But yeah, Mama's, Mama with the ass.
Gotta hit him. Gotta hit him. With the roll pin.
Dude, God, that sign is inappropriate because there are a lot of children. I mean, this is a family environment at this point. The asylum is no longer the frat house. It's
two seconds later. There's little kids right behind TNA and West, just kind of like hanging over with the popcorn, like, why are we here?
Well, just like those fans in the asylum, as Skull's pointing out here, he's on a 10-month streak of being subscribed. Why aren't you subscribed on Twitch? You get these awesome emotes, including Mike TNA.
Mike TNA with that face.
Monty Brown.
There's two throwbacks in there, guys. There's two throwbacks. Thank you, Skull. My boy Brian over there, Skull 17. Go sub to his channel too. While you got it. Click on it real quick and go give him a sub and a follow. Whatever, support.
Give him a pounce.
Give him a pounce. Play that clip. Play that clip, though. Pull that clip up. Let's go ahead.
We got to play that clip. We love that.
We got to play that. Since you said it.
Period.
Look at Elix Skipper music video. The music's a little better on this one.
Love it.
Better on this. Way more improved. He goes from he went from saying greatest athlete to now greatest wrestler. That's the new kind of tagline he's going with. So
who knows? Maybe that guy in the back stole his gimmick.
Maybe
because there was a guy in the locker room that night that kind of steals that saying a couple years later.
Yes, that's very true. That is very true. So could be that's what the genesis of it happened was this show.
Gimmick infringement.
Gimmick infringement. God damn it. Punk stole it from Elix Skipper. He comes out, grabs the microphone, says all eyes are on him tonight. All lights are on me. It's crazy because I didn't remember him getting such a singles focus. It's never a huge push, but it's a decent little push that he's getting. I don't remember that. I mean, Bill, I don't know if you recall this. I don't remember him getting that much of a singles focus.
I remember it being a singles, but I didn't remember it really being pushed. It just felt like he was a singles guy for a bit, but I didn't remember like right now. Obviously, he's getting a push, and as we'll see here, like obviously Daniels is getting a push too. So they're kind of forget about the tag team. Triple X is no more. They're all going their separate ways right now. which they've teased before with the tag teams. Obviously, they did it with Storm and Harris, so they're not really 100% in on any tag team other than maybe the new church when they're there.
Pretty much, they're the only.
They
team
don't really
that,
ever
like,
break them up, but everybody else they kind of break up if they need to.
True.
So
very true. Elix never got the X title though. He was a 4-time tag champ, and then he's he won the World X Cup, and then he had the Match of the Year stuff and all like those little awards, but he never got the X Division, which is surprising actually that he never got the X Division title. I'm kind of shocked looking at that now.
It seems like it was in the cards this night because they say like he could go beyond the X1. It was almost like an afterthought that he could win the X title. Yeah, like it was going to be a given at some point, and obviously then it never happens.
Elix Skipper was
just like D'Lo Brown.
Wrestler.
Never happens.
Yeah, Elix was incredible, man. I was a huge fan, like late WCW, and then coming over into here. It was too bad he didn't get more of a push. I don't know how long this goes. I do remember him being a singles here, though. At some point. So
yeah, because that's what he gets his action figure, isn't it?
He does get an action
singles guy.
He does. You're right. He does. I mean, he's part of that first figure run. He's got the couple of series of action figures, so he was factored in for a couple of years for sure until he left. I mean, Elix, another guy like it's just I can't say he's totally forgotten because he literally is on every highlight reel the company ever puts out.
Those 4 seconds of his life are forever.
It'll last forever.
Oh yeah.
But J-Bone, we get a mystery opponent because he gives an open challenge. Anybody in the back, and who is the mystery opponent, J-Bone? Here, were you shocked at this?
I was Mad Mikey, aka Crash Holly.
Crash Holly with the T-shirt that had a kitten playing with a ball of yarn on it. Did you guys catch that?
Yes,
that was a T-shirt he was wearing.
and it's bittersweet because he passes away just a few months later. It's just another sad reminder of how dark this year was.
Yeah, man.
Yeah, and this is the first he's on. He's going to be on here a lot, I believe.
I feel
like they used him a lot when he was there.
I don't remember that.
I read the Wikipedia, and it says they used him like a total of 9 times. So he's going to be on for a bit.
Every week until probably he passes close to then.
He passes in November 6th is when he died. We're in July.
4 months.
We're in July, so every other week-ish, whatever.
Pretty good.
Yeah.
I was a fan of his in WWE. I don't remember why in particular. I guess the underdog little guy thing back then.
I loved that when it was one of my first wrestling video games when I really got into video games like in my 20s, besides the Atari stuff when I was a wee little nerd. But my SmackDown 2 game, and he was carrying the scale to the ring.
Now, interesting little twist though. The finish of the match is Elix going for the scale, right? Distracting the referee. Was it Rudy in this? Was it Rudy referee on this one? Because it was goddamn Rudy. I swear to God. But then he hits with the play of the day and he gets the win on this. So he does win fairly. He just So interesting. He distracted him with the scale.
Yeah.
With that the very type of scale, like, or not the type of like the scale that Crash also used to walk out with. So very sad though that he dies very soon after this. And I know it's a bad one. Like it's an overdose, I believe. That's
right.
Yeah.
And I remember it was at like Stevie Richards' house, I want to say. Like that's crazy.
They were roommates or something.
Yeah.
Something, yeah.
32 years old. You know, he did look older.
This industry was just a meat grinder, like until recently. You know, they think it's a good thing. The industry, I feel like, is in a lot better place for these athletes and performers, though. So
at least this past decade's been pretty.
Yeah, in very recent memory, this is a good somber reminder of like how rough this industry and this business used to be, though. You know, so when Chucklefucks make comments about how it used to be a better place, like we should remember that no one else is even around anymore to talk to from Chucklefuck's prime. So, you know, if someone were to say that shit.
Yeah, sad stuff,
True.
man. Very sad. He actually wrestled ECW too.
Oh yeah, he had a good ECW run.
He was he went by, I think he went by Aaron O'Grady at the time, and he was
Oh wow,
at least for half a year, I want to say, huh, Bill? He was
Yeah,
there for at least a while.
He was there a little bit before the end, right? I don't think it was the bitter end, but I think
He was
maybe.
Oh no, he was there it was there in like 97 to like
97, like a couple, right. That I was still watching that.
Yeah, and he was there. I mean, he wrestled a couple and because he was, remember, and now when look back, that whole like direct talent route to up north was basically that, like, hey, you got a guy there. Yeah, I can use him. Send him up to me now.
Yeah, because I was there during that. I was there, like, obviously when Jerry Lawler was showing up, and then you'd see the guys on Raw, and then WCW, you'd see them. They were all making the rounds then. Yeah,
but crazy stuff. But yeah, sad story that he dies. Elix does get the win here, so he's kind of on his way, because the whole idea was that it's a big thing for Elix to get the win over a former WWE guy. Crash Holly comes in. Hey, it's a nice win for him to take. So it was cool. I mean, we're on our way with Elix Skipper. I just I can't believe that X title never came after this. But
yeah.
Now, I've got an interesting question though. When's the last time we had a debut that lost?
Exactly. Good point.
Yeah. He looked good though. They both looked good in the match.
Oh, sure. Yeah. And the crowd popped.
Yeah. He was a former guy from up north. So they definitely had that natural pop of like, oh, we know him, like let's cheer for him.
Yeah.
And Crash, I gotta say, was universally loved though. He was one of those characters that everybody just loved him no matter what. Like, he was just fun.
Yep. Like I said, I couldn't tell you specifics, but I loved him.
Yeah.
And run.
So we get a Jeff Jarrett and Joe Legend recap video. Legend then shown in the locker room, very Goldbergish in a sense. Door open, talking to the security folks, let him know how he expects them to kind of behave out there, keep Jarrett away. Then he does like one of those locker room walkouts with black shirt security. Very particular about saying black shirt security on this.
Boo.
He kind of reminds me of Brian Clark, aka Adam Bomb. Doesn't he, like a little like the face a little bit? It looks like Brian Clark to me. Comes out, he takes the microphone, does a Canada versus US heat spot, the go-to, the cheap heat right away. I mean, you're in Nashville, Tennessee, man. They are ready to defend the USA right here. So he's talking Canada versus the US. And here's what I wrote in my notes. Give me your guys' opinion on this. Are they basically trying to turn Jeff Jarrett face right here? Is that what this is? Like, is this a spot to turn Jarrett back face? Like, that's what you have his opponent who he's feuding with doing a US versus Canada heat spot, and all of a sudden it's like you're feuding with Jarrett. Like, what the hell? I didn't realize that sounds like where they were going.
I want to go first on this one.
Yeah, go ahead.
Because my notes speak just to this. It says absolute burial. Crowd hates it. JJ comes out to zero pop, nothing but go away heat. And then at the end of the segment, they come around a little bit because they realize they're supposed to be popping for Jarrett. It's an awkward segment. I hated this match. Like, what a waste of 2 X Division. Like, this whole segment pissed me off. Not a fan. Like, the second this segment started, not a fan. But even the crowd didn't buy this, I don't think. I think they are trying to turn him. I had the same thought. That's why I wanted to go first. I got the same feeling.
Interesting. Go ahead, Bill. Take it from there. What do you think?
Yeah, no, I agree. This was definitely, we've been seeing that Jeff hasn't been over, so he actually allowed himself to lose to Legend to help get him back as a face, because Jeff Jarrett can't go that long without being cheered. So he had to get the fans, attempt to get his fans on his side. So Legend just comes in here. It's heel 101, Legend school right now, who's like, he just throws out red meat. It might as well have been a political convention. Come on, man. He was just throwing red meat to this audience.
Come on, man.
Get that USA chant started. He might as well just had a cue card with applause because USA.
Basically, yep.
And then just throw Jarrett in there as the USA. Very cheap pop, taken advantage of by our good buddy JJ. He's never saw a pop he didn't like. So it is what it was. But I'll tell you, I I forgot about Legend's run. Very impressed with Legend's run. He can talk. He's looked at, you're right. Like I liked Adam Bomb. I think that's a good reference. Like Legend looks legit. He looks like a badass. So I like that. I feel it's just going to end because since I didn't remember this feud at all, I feel like we're going to go into a week and he's going to vanish a la Perry Saturn.
Interesting. Now it started to come back to me a little bit with Legend, and from if I remember correctly, stay tuned. There's a little more to it. You get a little bit more to Legend than you remember. If I'm remembering correctly, you get a little more element to Legend. But he's not. I'm not shitting on him because he's not doing anything wrong, in my opinion. He's really not doing anything wrong. He's playing this up right. Jay, give me your opinion on this. What do you think, Jay?
I'm sorry, I was distracted by my cat. What did you ask?
on Joe Legend, like how do you feel he's in this feud with Jarrett? You know, we don't know much about him. It's not like he's getting a crazy run, but thoughts on like he's not doing a bad job. Like, what do you think about him?
No, I really like him here, and I'm upset that I've never seen him like anywhere else before. Like I did, and I know he was in the Attitude Era before this, but like I've said a million times, I never watched the Attitude Era. I watched the tail end of the WCW stuff from late '90s on. So anything before that in WWE, I am unaware of it. Besides the Hogan era stuff,
listen, it's not terrible, man. I'm with Bill on this, but Mark, I think you told me you're not digging Legend, right?
Yeah, I'm actually, I guess, going to be the odd man out here. Like, I don't hate him. It's like I texted you, Trent. I feel like Legend's getting the push I wish Watts would have gotten.
This is a great take. I like this take a lot. Go expand on this. You mentioned this to me last night.
Yeah, I just feel like Watts his look is about as perfect as you can get. He's also real strong on the mic. He's got a presence. If you were going to try and push these guys parallel, if I had my druthers, I would have pushed Watts in the Legend position. I like Watts more. And not because I hate Legend. I just don't think he's... Uh-oh. Let's go, Bill. Let's hear it. What you got?
I can't say. I think they tried to do it with Watts. And we went through, 2 months of Watts doing stuff with Jarrett, but it wasn't getting over. Except for like those 8 guys in the crowd that would always chant for Watts.
Yeah, I just feel like,
but Watts had the look. He could talk. He couldn't wrestle. Sadly, like he was horrible in the ring. Let's just call it what it is.
Was horrible.
He's not good in the ring.
He's still active. You can get around.
That doesn't make everything, but they tried to force him in. And they couldn't do it. And this was 3 promotions that tried this with Eric Watts.
Yeah.
And no one could succeed with it.
But I'll tell you what, him doing these backstage segments has been interesting. I mean, with Goldie and stuff like that. That's like, that's where you're strong.
He's really strong later in this episode, too.
He is very strong later. I think they keep trying to find the right role for him.
Maybe,
And I think they found it. He is a great authority figure, manager. That's his strength to me, is that. We'll elaborate on Watson a little bit. We're about to get to him in a little bit. This was interesting. So we have so Legend. Oh, where am I at here? Okay, so Legend's match though. He black shirt security at the front of the ring, facing away from the ring. He's got them set up. He said, "Don't let Jeff Jarrett in. You're not to allow Jarrett in here." So he just asked him to keep him away. So the match, it's a handicap match. Legend versus Sydal and Ultra Boy Luke Hawks. Jeff Jarrett comes out like midway through the match, sits at the top of the ramp, and just watches. Kind of, did he say? I don't think he said anything, right? He's just kind of watching, just berating him a little bit.
He just sat. He just literally came out with his guitar and sat down on the ramp. That's it.
That's it, right? Okay, so Legend dominates the match, dual pin. He's sitting there. Jeff Jarrett gets on the mic, and he asks the ref. He goes, "Ref, is this match officially over?" And he said, "Yes." And then he comes down. Security just parts ways and just lets Jarrett come in and attack Legend.
There's no rules in the asylum.
Yeah, well, Legend said, "Watch my back for the match." For through this match. I looked all back to myself. I'm like, yeah, he did keep emphasizing, "Watch me during this match. Keep him away from this match." Kind of thing. So he comes in.
Like that security could have done anything anyway. They're as bad as the Skyway Studios guys. Might as well just Palmer.
Yeah, Palmer. There was definitely Palmer's dad was in there. There was an old man in that black shirt security. But so they get in there. They're brawling. Red shirt security comes in, save Legend's ass, and then Kevin Northcutt, who's the big guy, red shirt security, gets into a brawl with Jarrett. And it's like, okay, there's an alignment here with Legend, but Northcutt's a big dude. This is, I think, the start of it with red shirts, because the whole shirted security, colored security is going to branch off into certain things, but this is the start of it. So it's kind of weird to me. And I almost feel like this is the point where Jarrett was like listening to the heat from the people of like, you're dominating the show too much. He put himself in this weird, like, mid card role at this point, feuding with the security guards. You know, it's kind of interesting. It's almost like he's like, I'll do like it reminds me when like Hogan jobbed to Billy Kidman to like shut everybody up.
Oh,
to say,
man.
You know, to be like, okay, well, I do jobs, you know, even though I buried the guy, but also I'll do this and show you that I can work.
I think this is part of that bigger picture to be the face. And I think he knows he can't just turn the switch on. He tried that for about 6 months. Ever since the AJ feud, where the crowd turned on him. That's where the crowd turned on him, was the AJ feud.
Yes, that was it. That was definitely it.
Yeah.
So we'll see, man. It's interesting to see how it develops, but you have the red shirt security brawling with Jarrett at this point. So now,
so where did Kevin Northcutt come from? Was he a WCW guy at the end or something?
No, he's a perpetual territory guy in the NWA. He was around in that real low point of the NWA, like when they weren't doing anything. He's a big dude. As you can see, you're kind of surprised the guy didn't do more, because he's got a look, he's got a presence to him. You know, he's a big intimidating looking guy. Has a decent run though in TNA. I'm not gonna say it was a mind-boggling run, but it wasn't like. But I'm looking at something here. Actually, I just pulled him up. Looks like he was a jobber in WCW late 2000. So he had a little tiny bit of a job run in WCW like last year. So that's interesting. I didn't know that. So that's and then he just went to the Indies after TNA. So he didn't really do much. He just kind of ended out, you know, maybe before the like around 2010. Looks like he finished up. So he hasn't been in too long. But we'll see what's going on with that, but keep watching that develop, and we'll see where it goes. But what else we got? Where are we at now? Let me get my back notes.
I wish I could put the comments up.
Oh, his comments right here. Like, ever thought about picking up a football? I could probably take down a real fight.
I can throw it over those mountains, Trent.
That's what I was thinking. You want to see me throw this football over those mountains? I bet you.
That's funny,
dude. What jigger?
Yeah,
dumbass.
Dude,
He wants to have a hell in a cell. I'm totally down, dude.
No. Wait, we gotta go.
I will shove my bong.
We gotta at least go throwback,
dude.
Themed. We gotta go like a lockdown. We gotta go Six Sides of Steel.
Six Sides
of Steel.
Yeah. Call Elix, have him flip off the
bong on a pole match. My special.
I take it easy, Mark. Come on, cut his mic for a second. All right.
Come on, man.
Come on, man. We get Scott Hudson backstage sneaking a microphone. There's a open door in the locker room. AJ and Russo clearly talking. Scott Hudson's reaching. Your buddy Bill reaching his microphone around into the door.
I don't know if our chatter's gonna like my opinion of Scott Hudson tonight.
Well, let's do it. Let's hear it, because he's
the same that it is every week.
Well, let's talk about it, because AJ comes out, Hudson tries to get a word. He doesn't. He just walks right by him. So go ahead.
Yeah, he's an empty suit. You walk right by an empty suit, and that's what Scott Hudson is. He brings nothing to the table.
Guess not, man.
But do you know what he is? And it's not totally killing the guy here, but he should be on like a very small college basketball team, play-by-play man. Still, a nice job, but you
don't want for your wrestling interview.
No.
Definitely don't want for your wrestling.
He's got broadcast skills. I won't take that away from him.
Definitely does.
Just not what I want in my wrestling product.
Yeah. Well, I think it's officially time for Bill and Scott Hudson to have
match time.
Match time. Match time with Bill and Scott Hudson. That's what could happen. We got to track down
I saw
Scott
someone
Hudson.
put something with him. Who was he with? It was like a WCW, like where he was on the announce team. And I'm like, oh my gosh. Oh, yeah,
Hey, he did the announcing. I remember he was the guy when they used to do like the WCW match during the Invasion on Raw.
I think that's what it was. I think that's what it was. I think it was probably a WWF thing during the Invasion, and they were showing Scott Hudson. I'm like, man, that guy, he got to where he got to. Whoa, maybe.
And I think they wanted him, but he quit because he got another job. But it was Scott Hudson. It was Scott Hudson who they did. That's what led to a lot of the bitterness of this guy.
Yeah, one night, and then I quit the business for 18 years.
You know, that's what led to a lot more of his bitterness. They didn't want him up there.
I'll tell you, is that the one thing me and Shivani agree on?
Scott Hudson. Well, Shivani also hated TNA, which we don't agree on that. Come on, you know we like. Well, here Hakeem's got a great question here. Who does Bill dislike more, Palmer or Hudson? Oh, that's a good question, Bill. I don't know that. I don't know this.
Well, I don't have a dislike. It's Palmer. I don't have a dislike of Hudson. I just don't think he should be on my TV. Palmer, I don't even think he should have been in the building, unless he's sweeping up, or like maybe he could cut canvas, Trent. But that's about it. That's
wait a minute. I cut canvas.
That's my job.
I'm on a level of Palmer now. You know what's funny? Speaking of the Impact jobbers,
you have Trent. Come on, you have better hair.
Thank you. Well, speaking of the Impact jobbers, Bill started the domino effect right on the main show of the guy with the hair. Was it Palmer doing the hair?
It wasn't Palmer. That was a different
Palmer,
guy,
right?
But he might as well have been Palmer,
right?
But so it wasn't Palmer. It was another guy that was worried about his hair.
So Bill kicks off the critique of the hair guy, right, on the security detail on Impact, and so then I run with it. We watch it on the show. I run with it, and then Ingrid lights me on fire for the whole thing, just torching me. At least he works. He's not taking selfies. He's there to fucking work. That guy bust his ass. How many rings did you say? This isn't my fight. I was backing Bill up, but I got the shit for him. So Bill, I took a bullet for you on that one.
You did, because I did bring it up. You expanded on it quite a bit.
I sure did.
But then you took the fire.
On Tuesdays, you take all the bullets, Trent.
I do. I guess you could say, I am the fire. Whoa. Okay. That's enough of that.
But with Palmer, obviously, people are bringing me up as it. So I think, obviously, I'm taking the bullet for that one.
Definitely.
But I don't think anyone's coming to his defense. No.
That's for sure. That's for damn sure.
I don't even think Ingrid came to his defense.
No, she really did.
She didn't.
She really did it for Palmer.
That was the funniest part of it.
Now go after Mims and we'll see what happens.
Yeah, seriously.
Never Mimsy. We love Mimsy.
Yeah.
We got a Chris Daniels.
He knows his role.
Yep, he does. Mimsy does.
He's reliable.
We got a Chris Daniels music video here, hyping the character reboot on Daniels.
The music.
Yeah, the music was.
It was. Rex is correcting this story here. It makes me dislike Tony Schiavone even more.
Yeah,
Tony Schiavone put over Scott Hudson in the shoot on. He did. He's like, Scott Hudson can do your job. Yeah,
and then
there's a better. Yeah, that's right, Rex. He did say there's a guy named Scott Hudson in Atlanta could do your job better than you. I mean, Schiavone was bitter, man. You know. But
that's the thing. You can tell that's what they think about, and I think that's my issue with Hudson is you can tell they think a lot of Scott Hudson, and he seems just so average to me.
I think TNA is
cookie cutter.
TNA
is fantastic.
Hudson, if you're comparing Hudson and TNA, no way. There's no comparison.
Give me Josh Matthews 100 out of 100 times compared to Scott Hudson.
Hudson, I gotta say,
that's a very slow response.
It is
the low bar. I read it.
Well, I'm gonna say this: in that kind of pairing, Hudson's a better color guy. I would say he's better color. He's not a lead. He's a good color guy.
Yeah.
If you put him in that setting,
what color does Scott Hudson offer?
I know you're gonna say vanilla. Then I'll fill in the blank for you. I like very vanilla. I liked him. I know this is the contention point of the show. We spent 8 minutes on Scott Hudson. Amazing.
Oh my god.
We really put him over.
We sure did. All right, AJ and D'Lo, match number 2. This is the submission only match. J-Bone set this one up.
Oh man, and it's just not D'Lo Brown's night. It's not, because he's barely on the ramp and gets taken out from Siaki, you know, and then from AJ Styles. So D'Lo Brown is just fighting uphill the entire match because he's got a bum leg now. You know, he's got a target. But man, this match, my God, this was amazing. This was, I'd say, almost better than the first one. Just because this one was telling a different. It was like, oh, it's the same story. No, this one's a little different. You know.
You gotta like that writing right there, though. They put that plant the seed right at the beginning. That shit, they took his knee out. You're not gonna get to match 3 now. That's old school wrestling psychology. I love that because from the entrance, they already let you know. Oh, you're probably not gonna get match 3. He's out. His knee's fucked. He's out. You know,
strong commentary supported this narrative the whole time too, and they talked about how AJ was going to tap, or he tapped quickly to kind of save himself for like just good commentary. This commentary team had been until recently a stark reminder of what we were missing on Impact. I now think we're in a much better place, but these two guys together, I will take these two guys back any day. This is fantastic commentary team.
Oh, I mean, these guys are they're artists.
They elevate every single match, and I thought that this was, to me, the least engaging of the 3 matches, though it was still really good. But I was much more involved in the match via the commentary than the actual in-ring. So good stuff here.
Interesting take. Interesting observation. Solid match. Another solid one. About the same time, would you say? Was that 7-8 minutes? Maybe a little less?
Felt shorter.
A little shorter, right?
Yeah. Felt like it.
Let's see if you got that.
Well, this was less than 6 minutes, so about 2 minutes less.
Okay.
So close. Not super long, but shorter for sure.
Right. That means you guys got to conserve, but it's solid action. 8. I love this detail. Tell me if any of you caught this. I thought this was this is the brilliance of AJ Styles right here. He puts D'Lo in the sharpshooter, and he's got him. And D'Lo's reaching around to get the reversal, and you see AJ just constantly shuffling the foot away. Like I feel it. Nope, kicking him out. Letting you know, like, it's not like so set up, that it's so like it's not the paint by number style. Move 1, move 2, move 3, move. It's like I feel I'm gonna kick you instinctively. I'm gonna kick you away if you keep trying to get my leg. I'm gonna keep kicking away. But the one he gets him, he finally grabs him. He isn't able to kick him away. He grabs him, pulls it over, full reversal, sharpshooter, AJ Taz. I thought that was brilliant psychology.
Yeah, and he had his knee like right in his like upper back towards the neck.
Was great.
He was done. He was done. Couldn't even move.
I've never seen that, Jay. Have you seen that before? He sharpshootered him, then twisted his body, and his left leg pinned the neck down. I was like, never. Yeah, it's a weird modified sharpshooter, huh? I've never seen that before.
I think it would have the same effect as if you're doing like something where you're just like sitting on the back and leaning backwards, but it's the same effect. But yeah, it's just a modified version of it. But yeah, it's still great. Yeah,
I loved it.
Yeah,
I just thought
very cool.
It added that little extra element of like,
it looked brutal.
It did. That's what I'm saying.
Mean, like, man, I've got something invested in this.
Is that officially an Indian deathlock? Is that what that I didn't know. I mean, because he had the grapevine, the sharpshooter. The neck aspect is what got me. That was fucking brilliant. So it's 1-1. D'Lo wins 1-1. We're going to the third match. That's the main event. So that was yeah.
You need to get on Garrett to put together a compilation for the social media of AJ and D'Lo. Like is.
I'm actually kind of surprised that when D'Lo got the commentary spot, they didn't just do one of those like Bill. They usually do that to kind of sell you on like somebody getting something going. It's like, hey, don't forget. Yeah, like don't forget
that they haven't like just let's reintroduce you to D'Lo Brown.
Right.
And maybe they're just like going with the aces and eights because they tend to go with anything recent and forget about the early. But that should be because D'Lo's run here is fantastic. Like he's
Phenomenal.
part of Aces and Age, which was over in its way, but you gotta recognize his world title chase during this time.
It's so forgotten. That's what gets me about it.
This is I'm really enjoying this because it just reminds me of like an old version of like Willie Mack. You know, like I could see a lot of Willie Mack in this. You know, if you're looking for the inspiration of a Willie Mack back in the day, there's gotta be some D-Lo in there. Absolutely,
dude. I'm telling you,
hey, you know, down with the Brown.
Gotta be down.
Yeah, the legacy of it's probably hurt by the fact that it's confined to the Asylum years too.
That's what it is. Because he was out after that.
Yeah.
That's still ignored for the most part. The Asylum years.
It blows my mind. They've been tweeting a little more about it, a little more clips going out. I just think they should double up those clips. I think it's like you guys leave so much on the table.
Yeah,
because
there's
people
that period
though,
late Asylum and like the first 2 shows.
Yeah,
it's like episode 3 through like 60 is kind of ignored.
You're right. You're
Yeah.
absolutely right, because they do a lot of the stuff in the 70s, like in the 70 range and on. But like you're right, 3 to 60 is like barely posted about, unless it's some weird tie-in or something. But 3 to 60 is some really good fucking shows. That's
As we know, this one
Hey, all you have to do is
alone.
look at TNI and you can get all that content.
We cover it.
Hey, Impact Plus. You could take those shows, put them on there, cover everything.
There you go.
With the big brain.
There you go, guys. Put us as an audio track to the pay-per-views. How about that? Once we finish
It's
them
like
all,
director's commentary.
we should sell it as
Although then
director's
everyone,
commentary.
like Scott Hudson's gonna have a problem with me. Sonny Siaki will say, "I was over. What's wrong with you people?"
Like, who the fuck are these guys? Like Sonny Siaki, you're like 53. You're
Burying
at me right now.
every fucking show, just fucking burying this guy.
Well, you'll see
20 years.
Honestly, for anyone watching, go back and see Trent's reaction because he's Mr. Siaki. He's like
totally
the little
Mr.
stinger is the little Siaki, and then he turns into like the hate of Siaki. It's fantastic.
He was the one guy whose name I would drop every time there's like, what TNA star do you want to return? What Asylum guy would you want to see inducted? I'm like, Sonny Siaki. I'm like, you better call Sonny Siaki. And man, I'm watching these and I'm like, what the fuck did I see in him? Like, to that level? What the fuck did I see in this guy, you know?
If it makes you feel any better, I was a Siaki mark too back in the day, and now watching him again, I'm like, what the I don't get it at all.
And I'm not trying to dog. Again, it's context. Maybe at the time, I'm watching with 2003 eyes. You know, I'm not thinking of this into consideration. But 2021 eyes, looking at it, I'm like, man, I really see where the gap was. I could see why they slowed down his push. You know, basically, you could see it.
I loved him in 2005, and I know he wasn't around much longer.
He's not much longer. Yeah. But
because I started watching them, man, and that was just all brand new content for my video game. I'm like, I did the whole damn TNA roster back then.
That's awesome. Bill, how badly do you want a Notorious DLB T-shirt after seeing D'Lo wear it all over the show?
That's a nice shirt.
Because he has the other one with the UPS logo and it's DLB. You ever see that one? That one's pretty sweet too. Again, I'm shocked these guys don't just reboot a pro wrestling tees page. It doesn't cost them anything to do it. Like, just throw a fucking t-shirt up, you know, like you're D'Lo Brown. Someone will buy it, you know, like someone's going to buy a t-shirt. Just doesn't cost you to have, just put it up there. Bill will buy the Notorious DLB t-shirt. We got to get it up there.
Yeah. If he doesn't do it, we're going to do the Notorious TNI t-shirt.
There you go. There's your thread, D'Lo. put that up. All right. Next one is today's sit down with Don Callis, who is now the management consultant of Impact of TNA, and he's talking about corporate wrestling basically, and how the fans have spoken. They don't want hardcore wrestling. He refers to fans as the customers. The customers have spoken. Customers are always right. We do surveys.
Hey, remember, he's Don Callis, NBA.
That's right. Yeah. I think it's kind of serendipitous here to see you're seeing this. He's in a boardroom talking to Mike Tenay as the management consultant of the company, and just a couple of years later he's like they've done scenes in that fucking boardroom, of like Don sitting in there as the guy. He's the VP of the company now, legitimately the VP of Impact Wrestling now.
Crazy.
That's crazy to me. Yes, that's nuts.
Yeah,
like it was nuts. A storyline character, and he's today the VP of the company. Literally, just like literally tipping the scales on for two companies right now on television. Like
he took the gimmick to heart. Took the gimmick to heart, man.
That is mind blowing, man. That is mind. I loved it, Bill. I know you probably. I mean, you're a Cal's guy. You probably love this.
Oh, I love this. I love this so much.
I have seen that penis.
Yeah, it's across the table from Mike tonight. Go ahead.
No, like, Don is just fantastic, and you're right. This is his character. Like this is him. Honestly, this is Don, and this is where you really see it to begin with. And it is kind of trippy to see it so many years ago, and it's playing out weekly now on TV in 2021. And this is 2003, and it's the same thing. It just makes you think if he was there that whole time, who knows what would have happened. But now that he has that power to be with that character, it's all bets are off.
Now he's just changing everything.
The invisible
hand, man. He does it all.
It's just crazy. Like the whole just life imitating art, I guess you could say, Mark. I mean, that's basically what it is. It's like it became reality.
I mean, you listen to Don talk now, and it sounds like he always knew that this was his destiny. So maybe he's not bullshitting. 17 years ago, he sure looks like he knew it was his destiny too. So here we are.
A lot more hair back then, though. A lot more hair on the guy's head.
A lot more hair.
But he said, the fans, they don't want scantily clad women.
No.
They don't want it.
He's wrong. I'm a fan.
Yeah, he's totally wrong.
I mean, this next match was great.
Yes, that leads us right to our next segment. Nurse Veronica with Valentina is her cohort, and the team they've named it is Bitch Slap. The Bitch Slap Girls.
Bitch Slap Girls.
Bitch Slap Girls. Which in 2003 the term Bitch Slap was huge. BSG. But
wait, are they a tag team in NXT?
The Bitch Slap Girls. Sorry. BSG. Maybe there's something 3 letters.
MST3K. No, that's not it.
No.
WD-40?
You guys acting like a couple of rascals here trying to make guesses.
Rascal forever.
But they come out. They say the fur is gonna fly tonight because she's saying, hey, she's shit talking the cage dancer girls. The fur's gonna fly.
Cage
challenges them.
Cage skanks.
Oh yeah, the cage skanks. I did write that down. The cage
skanks.
April and Lollipop make their way down. Security stops them. Rudy Charles here, Bill, comes to get some mic time. Are you kidding me?
Oh yeah. And I know exactly where he got this.
Yeah, where?
He was watching a little Bad News Bears breaking training, the infamous Houston Astrodome scene where let them play. Little William Devane, let them play. Let them play. And he goes, let them fight. Let them fight.
I did not even catch it. You're totally right. Holy shit. You're fucking Rudy Charles, man.
That's what you get when you give Rudy the mic.
Come on. I can't. It's crazy. I'm like, Rudy Charles got mic time in the asylum. I never remember that one at all. It's like, hey, don't you worry about catching some calls there, Rudy. It
was for a good reason.
It was for a good reason.
I'm behind his campaign.
That's true. I mean, they
Can
get
we just talk about how inconsistent the officiating has been now for the last couple of weeks?
Oh, bad.
You have them now dictating matches that are happening or not happening. There's finishes that happen. They overturn them. Other finishes, which are totally dusty, no one even bats an eye at. Consistency out the window. Vinny Roo, what are you doing? Because now you're leading into the people that complain about the finishes with TNA. And you're getting it now pay-per-view after pay-per-view.
I think you always had an issue of it was what Vince is writing, what Jarrett wants. What Vince is writing, this is what Jarrett wants, though. Vince probably wanted to put the belt on Raven. Well, Jarrett didn't. So now we're going to go this direction. Jarrett wants things to look like this. Vince wants it to be like this. Somebody else, Dixie probably had an opinion. You know what I mean? It's like all sorts of stuff was getting in the way.
Could we have one show with maybe just one dusty finish?
Yes. Well,
it's a minimum of 3.
It's at least.
It's pretty bad.
There's a lot going on. Hakeem points out a very interesting piece of trivia here. Look at this, Jay. Bitch Slap was officially the first female faction in the company's history before the Beautiful People. That's very cool. That's very neat. Another forgotten one.
Where they actually paired them together. Yeah, that is interesting.
Yeah, because there was sort of a Trinity and Goldie thing, but I wouldn't call it official. Like they did kind of, and they even said it, like they did their calendar on the beach and stuff. So they were kind of a faction and they tagged in a match, but it was, I wouldn't say it was a long-term angle.
Well,
they're just more buddies.
I don't know. Or would you say that the Cage Skanks were the first women's faction?
Oh,
now they were kind of forced into it. You know, they were kind of like victimized into being wrestlers.
Yeah.
This is true. They were the ones that were attacked and retaliated. So
Lollipop was ready to rock from the get though. She was like good to go.
Yeah. Well, she does end up working for a bit.
Yeah.
She trains and everything. This leads us to Trinity though, who comes out and basically gets in there, attacks the cage dancers, knocks them out, beats them all down. So you have your faction. Trinity's like all over the place right now, though. Like she is like, I think once they split her from Cash, it's almost like they were a little lost on who do we put her with, you know. And I think
put her with everybody,
right? No complaints from me.
And I love her. I think she looked gorgeous on the show too. I'm a big Trinity mark, but I think they missed an opportunity to make a women's faction early in TNA. They could have made a women's faction, women's division in 2003. You had Trinity, you could have brought in some other girls.
There wasn't the appetite for it though at that time.
But you could have set the trend though. You know what I mean? In 2003, you had Trinity already fighting Cash. She was already fighting guys. You know.
I'm preaching to the choir. I love my women's wrestling, but we just weren't ready. And remember what we were getting in that other place?
It was a different time.
Yeah, man.
Imagine given what
you remember
there
was chants like only a couple months ago in that building.
I know.
Yeah,
you could have changed. You could have started the change right here earlier. I mean, they do it 4 years later. You know, what I mean, they do it 4 years later.
But then we wouldn't have got that moment of Gail winning that first title, and just like that's such a historic moment in the company. You know, the timing was perfect. Like I wouldn't change it because Gail got exactly what she deserved.
Yeah,
you know.
Yeah, they did it when it was right, because now that's why everyone regards TNA as always having a great women's division.
Always,
because they didn't mess around. They waited till they really knew what they were doing.
Yeah, Gail was the first champion. That's a pretty solid first champion to run with.
Hakeem's telling you, Trinity is the first woman to wrestle guys in TNA, first to fight for the X Division title, and was a part of a female faction. I mean, we say it every week. Legend. She is the forgotten hero of the Asylum days. No question about it. And I still stand by it. She should have beaten Cash for the X title.
God, that would have been awesome.
You could have set shockwaves in the business back then if a woman took the X title. And even if he won it the next week and like obliterate her the next week, I mean, the endorsement on her would have been unbelievable. History would have been complete history. So that's to me a missed opportunity with Trinity. I really hope she gets another a moment to shine, even if it's not wrestling again, something where she's remembered again, just a clip, something. Put out her promo picture. I don't care. You know, wish her happy birthday. Something where you don't forget about fucking Trinity, man. She's great. So
she is good.
She is very good. All right, we get a 3 Live Crew segment here. Bill, set this one up here. 3 Live Crew's back on the prowl.
Yes, they're in the hood. In the hood this time.
They're in the hood
with the crew, and this is good. This is good. I think I enjoyed this even more than outside. Well, it was behind the asylum, but they want to call it whatever it was last time. Yeah. But this one actually was somewhere else. And you get it's obviously it's BG in the hood trying to like get his street cred, pretty much is the what they're going for. So they have him interact. He's like at a park. He just randomly starts going up to people, asks if he's packing heat. He's like, "What are you talking about?" So then obviously Ron and K-Dog come out and they're like, "Oh, he's okay. He's okay." He's like, "Is he okay?"
2 month packing heat. What the hell's wrong with you, man? You put 2 month packing heat. What do you think? I got a gun on me. I got my kids over here. What the hell's wrong with you? Like,
yeah. Then he goes to a supermarket. and the guy's coming out with his kids. He's like, you got a 40 in there? And then he's like, I got my kids with me. They got a 40 in there. And then it ends with him going, why don't you suck it?
Yeah, he's like, yeah, I got a couple words.
Good at doing it to BJ.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
So I mean, it's funny. I mean, they're basically trying to toughen up the super country white guy in the hood, make him urban because he's hanging out with Conan and Ron Killings, right? So
they turned B Jizzle into Pimp Juice.
Yes.
This is awesome.
Yes,
Pimp
Juice.
Juice.
He ends in the he gets a makeover, and we get the pimp version of BG.
Well, they give him an hour to meet him back, and he walks up full on pimp mode. BG comes in, and he's all,
oh man.
And it makes you remember when all the Izzle, my Nizzle, and Izzle, Dizzle, all that talk started with the Snoop Dogg Izzle talk. When all that was going on.
Very Snoop.
And I was like,
still
damn.
Relevant in wrestling today.
It is. It made me realize that, man, all the shizzle my nizzle talk was 17 fucking years ago.
I still say it. And
Wait,
my
what's
kids
next?
Look at me.
What's up?
I still say that too.
J-Bone. What's up?
What's up?
This is 2003. It's a throwback show. Throwback Thursday. Mark, you still say shizzle my nizzle to your kids, and they probably look at you like you're insane.
Oh yeah, they're looking at me like, what the fuck? What?
Like, that's a dork. What the hell? You're like, in 03, I was cool as fuck.
Yeah, I'm like, what are you talking about? That's the bomb. And they're like, what?
The bomb.
Get the fuck out of here.
I asked Mrs. J-Bone earlier today when she was high on Valiums if she wanted some pimp juice, and she looked at me like, what the?
She's like, what? That was funny. It's funny. I mean, the skits are great. And I highly recommend, if you guys dig the 3 Live Crew stuff, go and find that DVD. It's a rare one. It's out there. It floats around. They reprinted it a couple times. They might do it again. I think the UK store actually might even have it, but it's a rare one. The 3 Live
Or you can
Crew
just
DVD.
take it off Trent's shelf.
You can take it on my shelf, kicking and screaming. Is it on Impact Plus? Is it on Plus? Are the old discs up there?
I do not think so.
Yeah.
I think it's on the Euro store. At
It is
least
on the Euro
I
store, right?
thought I saw it on the Euro store.
I thought I did too. I think it's on the Euro store, and I wouldn't be surprised if it is. But I highly recommend, if you guys dig 3 Live Crew stuff, that is one for sure. That's a great disc, very rare one to have. Like Kyle is super jealous of me. He's like, I can't believe you fucking got that. Like super pissed that I got it, and he doesn't. But
I can't wait till next week.
But yeah. So what do we got? What's
So next week it's the suntan Superman versus Jose Cuervo.
That's right.
Last man standing.
That's pretty funny. They're funny, man. These guys are funny. I'm looking at the UK store, and let's see.
If it's there, that's a bargain. It's on eBay for like $200.
200?
Whoa.
Really? Wow.
Oh yeah, TNA stuff on there is
$200.
sometimes.
It's got a TV in it or something.
Shit. Not on the UK store, guys. So that's the $200 copy is your copy. That's it.
Wow.
You want it. $200, huh, Bill? I start bootlegging this goddamn thing at this point.
Yeah, like
No
that's.
kidding.
I have a
got a
feeling that's
truckload?
probably only like 1 or 2 people selling it. It looks like so they're just coming up with a number, but.
Be like, we just got a
That's
truckload
crazy.
of 3 Live Crew DVDs at Trent's house. Anger will be here in a minute just to knock me down. What are you doing? All right, let's keep going. Disco comes out. He calls Jeremy Borash to the ring and says, "Since you love AMW so much, you'd be a great valet for them." He's got a shopping bag with him, and he pulls out basically a cowgirl, little cowgirl's outfit. And he's like, "You better put this on. Come on, put it on. Put it on." He's just forcing it on him. Come on, Jerp. Come on, Borash, put this on. AMW come out.
The cowbone
Cowbone, yep.
up there.
Cowbone. There he is. Look at that. AMW come out, save his ass. And then Glenn and and then they strip Glenn Goberty. They basically strip down Glenn Goberty, embarrass him. He runs off. Simon and Swinger come out, jump AMW, match is on. Officially, title match, AMW, Simon and Swinger. This is a fantastic match, I think. I had so much fun watching this match. Action all the way through. Like this was, Jay, you're nodding your head. Go ahead.
Yeah, Swinger was just this old school Swinger because I haven't seen his ECW stuff.
Yeah.
His stuff here with Diamond. And I remember seeing some of it like a couple years later, but yeah, this stuff is amazing. And Jeremy Borash, here, put on this dress.
You know what the art of AMW is? The more I watch them every week again, they are masters of that. Like, oh, this is the end. This is the 3 count, and kicking out at the 2.99 mark. Of like the count. They are so good at that. Like to the second of like anticipate. Like what? Oh my god! Oh shit! They kicked out. So good at like the cheating death. Kick out. I love that. Such artists on that stuff, and I really dig it though. It's a great action between the two guys. They're just so good, man. AMW is just like, I know people focus on beer money a lot for Storm stuff, but I guess they do put AMW stuff out enough too. It's not like they forget AMW at least.
No, they do remember that, but obviously you have that connection with the Cowboy always being around, which is they're not going to ignore it because of him. Yeah. So he has that benefit. A lot of these, but yet obviously Father James Mitchell's been around a ton, and you rarely see stuff early from the new church. So that's not always a guarantee with these things.
Yeah, true.
But no. So that's good that America's Most, and obviously all the title runs, like you got to acknowledge America's Most Wanted. Until Beer Money, they were the tag team division.
Yeah, I mean 4 or 5 time champions. I mean they were the leaders of that division for sure. So we can't forget them. They tend to not. They put AMW stuff out. They cycle it regularly enough. I would say more Beer Money because, like you said, they like to focus on 2010 and beyond a little bit more than pre.
Yeah, and anyone watching this now, maybe some of our new AEW fans that may be watching, go back in the archive on the throwback exclusive interview with Wildcat Chris Harris.
Yes,
one of our favorite episodes.
Yep. I would like to pose Hakeem's question to all of us and to the chat. Who's a better team, Beer Money or AMW? I always go AMW. I think they had an amazing action flow. So Mark, I don't know if you have
that's tough. They were so different. I mean, they were similar but different,
Yeah. Go ahead, Mark. You had an opinion on
that. AMW for me on this rewatch has been the opposite of Siaki. I actually wasn't an AMW fan back in the day. Now I'm appreciating them a lot more. So I'd say Beer Money, but I have a much greater appreciation for America's Most Wanted now.
So good.
I guess the death sentence, man. The setup for the death sentence.
You don't like death sentence. How come?
Because that setup, okay, I love Swinger Cell on the setup in this match. Let's use this match as an example. But it's like, it's that fine line in wrestling sometimes where you just can't buy something. And for me, the death sentence setup, even though the move is sick as hell, and like the one off the top of the cage that we saw a few weeks ago, I just don't like the setup. I don't know. It bothers me every time I see it.
Because the guy should be able to easily get out of that.
Yeah.
Right? The psychology of it. Yeah.
Yeah, exactly. It's just purely the psychology of it.
Yeah.
It's kind of like, 10 guys sitting outside the ring waiting for someone to jump on them.
Exactly.
Which is way
same issue
prevalent today.
Yeah. And I have the same kind of issue with that, right? Is that it's a fine line between taking yourself out of this entire experience.
Right.
I'll
go with that. I can give you that one. But just
so
such
cool
a great
looking.
team. Yeah. Oh, it looks great. Yeah. When they pull it off, it looks fantastic. Great team. I mean, they just have an amazing energy too. So good stuff. Real good stuff. All right. Next one is the match itself. Glenn comes out, attacks AMW with a bull rope, and then Simon Swinger beat him down, beat the crap out of him. Bill, they whipped the shit out of him. This is like Hogan to David Flair.
Yes,
whipping him.
Yeah, that was reminiscent of Tommy Dreamer. Please, sir, may I have another? And
were you at that one too? Were you at that?
Yes.
Damn,
and it was
Bill's been
very
there for
similar.
God, no kidding.
Well, all the early stuff for sure. Like all the early stuff. It's when it gets into that like 96 to 97, because then they start traveling. So I'm not in Philly as much. But all those early shows in Philly.
Let me ask Bill, pause real quick. Did you, like, you were younger? I mean, you're early teens at that point, but did you also were you part of that group that just didn't like Tommy because he was the pretty boy and you're like, this guy sucks, what a dork? And then was it after that you turned?
When I was going, like when Tommy was coming out with the suspenders, That was because you're talking real early ECW. You're talking like 93, 94.
Oh yeah.
So I'm like 11, 12 years old. So I wasn't really giving anyone heat. I was a fan of all the guys. Like
happy to be there.
Maybe one, I was having a good old time. Like obviously, like I'm seeing like Abdul the Butcher and Kevin Sullivan just like rip guys' heads open and Terry Funk, and I'm like, yeah. So I'm like,
at 11 years old.
Your dad,
So,
your
like,
father is a saint. I mean, we gotta get him on the podcast.
Right.
I really gotta ask him about his early days of going. Your dad's seen as much ECW as you have at this point.
Oh yeah, he did. He saw every ECW show I went to. He saw with me. So
I never get him on.
they would if they saw me roaming in by myself, they'd be like, "What are you doing in here? Get out of here, kid." That's like going into a bar underage.
Yeah, no shit, right? we're gonna get Papa Gardner on here for sure and get his take on that whole thing. But anyway, go ahead. But I digress. Go ahead.
No. So yeah, no, I wasn't like probably I wasn't as big a fan of Tommy. Like he wasn't appealing to me. But was he that different than Shane Douglas back then? And I liked Shane Douglas. But I knew Shane Douglas obviously from his runs other places too. When he got into ECW, but he had kind of a pretty boy gimmick too when he got there.
Shane did,
like the franchise became a badass when he threw down the title.
Right.
Before that,
he was pretty boy. Yeah,
he was a baby face.
He was
the pretty boy baby face, just like Tommy, pretty much.
He really was. Shane Douglas was the head quarterback, the dating the hot cheerleader. Like he was the blue chipper, good kid, good looking guy, blonde, blue eyes. Like. That was his character. So they all shifted.
Yeah, it was a whole different world. He had Sandman wearing the wetsuit as a surfer.
Oh man.
Like it was ECW was totally different when I started going there.
Yeah, the blood and guts was not there in 93. That's for damn sure.
The blood and guts was there, but it was with different guys. It was with Terry Funk, Stan Hansen. And that's why I was. What's that?
Tito was a former champion there.
Yeah, Tito was there. Tito was there too. Yeah, Tito was there. But they brought in like those guys that wrestled a lot in Japan, and they were doing hardcore back then. But those other guys, they started getting into it because Terry Funk, who was obviously the locker room leader, was kind of, wow, Terry gets over with this. We got to start doing it, guys. And then obviously when Raven shows up and decides to change his character into one of these, then you really start getting that going. Yeah,
it's very interesting. And you think about it, it's 9 years prior to the show we're reviewing right now, and 9 to 10 years. Yeah, but 94 is when all that starts really going down. 94, 95 even. But 9 years, 8 to 9 years. It's not that long. It's really like the Raven character is not that old. When we're watching in 03, reviewing in TNA, Raven the character has done a lot in 9 years. He's done a shit ton of stuff. ECW, WWE, WCW, WWE, back to ECW, and now TNA. That's a lot of shit to fit in 9 years. That's a lot.
Which shows you, though, how much can happen in wrestling, because you look at it, the current day Impact, and pretty much that same time period is the Hogan era.
Yeah.
So, like, look at everything that's happened from the Hogan era to where we are now in Impact. Like, that's just so many differences there.
8 years. Yeah. That's so crazy.
I would
wrestling, things can happen,
probably
man.
Bigger. That might even be a bigger change. Like, God, that is compared to Hogan, to where we are now.
Dude,
it seems like nuts. It's an unrecognizable universe.
That's nuts, man. It's mind blowing.
That's like right. It was Johnny Polo, but I didn't know who would get the reference if I didn't say Raven.
Oh, Johnny Polo, man. Yeah. Managing the Quebec.
That's how he comes in. He comes in as the WCW character.
Really?
WWF character.
Scotty Flamingo at the Johnny
when he went
Polo.
into ECW, he wasn't Raven.
Yeah, he wasn't Raven.
I didn't know that.
He was Johnny.
He becomes Raven when he's there.
Yeah. He basically shifted. It was a shifted character is what it was. Very interesting.
I know Johnny Polo. Yeah, I didn't know he came in as that.
Because he goes totally grunge. Like, he goes with the music. Like, he becomes hardcore then, but first he just becomes like a grunge rocker. Then he becomes
with a normal style, a regular wrestling style.
Yeah, well, then he starts mixing it around. He starts playing around with it. But he gets all those promos start. Those style promos start.
The character's story is great. That he is that rich. He was Johnny Polo, essentially the rich kid, which he was. Yeah. He's a well-off kid. But he was, he's into all this fucked up shit, and I'm depressed. And it's like, you're a fucking rich kid. Like, then they later on WCW, they
Good
do a
stuff.
storyline of it, right? That
Great shit.
they're like, he lives in a palatial estate. He's like, yeah, but life sucks. Like, you live in a fucking mansion. What's wrong with you?
and his foil for a good while there was Chris Canyon, who's like also one of the greatest ever to it. So you had Canyon and Raven working together. Like, doesn't get any better than that.
It's a perfect transition, this conversation, into the next segment, because we get the Raven and Shane Douglas recap video, letting you know what's going on there. We're in the back with Scott Hudson, and then he's with the New Church, Jim Mitchell, Shane Douglas. Great promo. They all look cool. They look very henchman-y, like, I liked it. Great promo by Mitchell as always. Yeah. Shane Douglas ties it in.
And Shane, top of his game right here.
Oh,
with the promo work. Like, I know when people say, like, that's a guy that if he's not working with a promotion right now on teaching promos is a crime in wrestling.
Yeah, it is. From what I understand, and I've recently found this out, he did have an offer to go down there, down south, or up north, down south, up north to down south, to do some training, and he turned him down. That's what I was recently told.
I can't imagine he has good feelings with that company.
He's not happy with them, but they did ask him. They knew the value of Shane Douglas, and he said, "I don't want to do it." But he finds ways. He does his own thing. Shane Douglas is a very amazing talent. I mean, this guy has done it all, and he's been around for a long time. And this TNA run, I'm glad we had Chad on the show, because I know he probably related to Shane about what we talked about, and hopefully we can get Shane on here in a couple of weeks to talk a little more, because we got the direct link to Chad E&B, who does Shane's podcast with him. Shane actually has a second podcast called Franchise. It's long form, topical stuff, 3-hour podcast, but they're pretty interesting. They're long, but it's like career coverage, and he does a lot of cool stuff. Shane's doing some long podcasting nowadays, but hopefully we can get Shane on.
We haven't had a guest on the Throwback in a while.
It's been a while. We'll get another one soon. We'll line something up for sure. Yeah, Jay, we should talk about that. We got to see how we can contact. Now, I know Wolfie D / just resurfaced. AKA slash. Just resurfaced on Goldilocks' podcast.
Wow.
And great episode. Great listen. I highly recommend it. I found his Facebook page. I like this page. I will reach out to him hopefully soon and try to get him on the show, man, because I'd love to talk to Slash. That'd be great to hear about his story a little bit.
Oh, man.
I'll tell you, it would be great to get in the near future, because he's very topical for 2 shows of ours.
Yeah.
Jerry Lynn.
Jerry would be. I have a direct link to Jerry. We could get Jerry for sure. It's just timing with Jerry, because he does travel to AEW.
Yeah.
He leaves, they all go earlier and they come back a day later. So Jerry's, and he's got his podcast, Front Row Material, which is check out.
Well, apparently he also travels to Nashville too.
Well, he lives in Nashville. Oh, yeah, that too. Yeah, he's been going there. But Jerry be good. He's got his own show too. So if we can work with Jerry's schedule, we'll definitely try to work that in for sure. So yeah, Jerry's on the list. Throwback definitely needs another guest. It's been a bit. The main show, the flagship on Tuesday, has been loaded up. January's been like guest month at this point.
December was too. We had somebody every week in December.
December was interesting too. It was heavy, man. We've had a lot of guests lately. It's pretty cool.
Sometimes 3 in one night.
Shit, man, that was nuts. That was bananas. If you guys missed it, this past Tuesday we had Kira Hogan on the show. She's on there for about 20 minutes, little career interview and stuff. Check that out. We also had Jonesy, who does the artist, does a lot of wrestling exclusive merchandise, and then the tax man, who does grappling with Canada, were our guests this past week. So amongst the review, so go check that out. It's on the channel. All right, next match here though. New Church with Shane Douglas taking on The Gathering, Julio, CM Punk, and Raven. This was the one thing Mark texted me when he was watching this. Mark, you remember you texted me about this? The thing that stood out about this match? You could
the crowd was chanting for Julio at one point, and I was like, I never thought I'd see the day that Julio Dinero was getting big time pop from the crowd like that. They were loving him, man. They were loving him.
Well, he had a few like
There he is.
one-on-one matches before this.
Yeah.
Yeah, but he had never gotten that kind of response, man. They were like, Julio, Julio. And I was like, wait, are they really?
Yeah,
Like, no,
exactly.
that's Julio, Dinero, but man. Shit.
Yeah, super early in the match, they were, yeah.
It was a fun brawl. Then this is a brawl. This is Southern wrestling brawl all around, just beating
Everywhere.
the shit out of each other.
Oh, yeah.
Jay, talk about the invisible hand. You wanted to mention this, so we'll set this up.
Man.
Here.
So, it spills to the outside, of course, and Raven goes after the franchise, and it goes all the way back to the curtains by the back doors. They get up to the curtains, and all of a sudden, this giant, like, white wrapped arm, giant hand comes out and grabs Raven and pulls him through the curtains, and the curtains moving, and there's so there's a tussle, but all you see is the giant arm go through, grab Raven, and pull him back. And franchise then looks up and he's just laughing. Moments later, Raven comes crawling out, completely full of blood.
Oh, crimson mask, bloody as hell.
He's being followed by James Mitchell, just laughing behind him.
It was the at one point I was watching alone. I saw the wrapped hand. I just yelled, "The Yeti! The Yeti!"
Oh. So are we going to put our guesses here? Obviously,
Go ahead.
if you don't know.
I'm saying
no.
Yeti.
You're going to go with Yeti? You're going to go with
No,
Yeti?
I'm not gonna say Yeti. Guess what? If I had to guess, I was totally stumped on who this could be, because I'm like everybody who hates Raven is already working in the company at this point. Like, who else is left? I'm like,
so you're thinking a debut, someone new.
I'm thinking a debut. Yeah, it's got to be a debut. That's where I'm at with it. But you get chiming on your, and you guys in the chat chiming on your guesses. Who is the mysterious hand on this one? You got one, Bill?
Oh, I don't know. Because it looks like even beyond the, like they were all in white, right? It was like just beyond
it was a white,
the hand,
big wrapped white hand. Yeah.
It was very Yeti looking. You're right.
It had the very Yeti look to it, man.
Who could it be? But you're right with Raven.
I don't know. I feel like every enemy's already there. Like who's left? Raven.
Well, his main enemy isn't there yet, but we know what his main
yet.
enemy's doing in the other company.
Yeah. I mean, anybody who's not signed up is already there.
It was someone extremely tall.
It was tall. That's the key. It was tall.
The height that's what's throwing me off. That height,
like 7 foot plus, like ridiculously tall.
Bill, why am I leaning towards it being 911 for some reason? Did 911 make a one-time appearance in TNA? I can't remember.
He may have.
Right? Like, I kind of on the way out, like when he was just kind of going back to bodyguard.
The ECW connection's there. So
right.
There's every reason to think he could have. And that is the type of size of that individual. So, and
I feel like it's like the one, they bring him in for like 1-2 things, whatever, do the job, get out.
Yeah, it seems like a brute. You don't think it's going to be like a long term, like it's a guy that's there to just beat him up a little bit.
Yeah, I'm curious,
tenderizer, if you will.
So who was a guy that wrestled in WCW and then he went to the WWF and he wrestled Taker at WrestleMania? El Gigante.
Oh no!
Did he ever make it? I'm just trying to think people like that tall. Like that's the only thing that that's the first thing that pops in my head. Like
I don't know if he's that tall.
Was there a chance that he made an appearance or something like that?
No, it wasn't him, because I think he passed away around that time. I want to say he was already gone.
I'm not sure when he passed away, but
I think he was limited by then. I think he probably was done wrestling for a couple years at that point.
Back down.
It was like the worst gear ever in the history of wrestling.
Oh my god, let's not even talk about it.
Well, he was an NBA player at WCW. Like he was playing down, I believe, in Atlanta, and they're like, I guess he had like bad knees.
Yeah,
and they when he was in WCW, he just kind of wore like a jersey, almost like a shirt, like from Shirts and Skins, and like basketball shorts.
Well, he debuted the night that Sting won the title, and Vader came out that same night too.
Oh yeah.
So 97?
No, 92. 92, yeah.
Dang.
Yeah.
Yeah, or 93. Super Brawl 93, actually. It's right after Mania. When he loses to Taker, he's out. He goes to WCW after that. So very interesting. We'll see. We'll see what happens. By the way, speaking of 911, another very underrated guy in ECW. Not that he was a great wrestler, Bill, but how exciting was 911 in ECW?
Oh, those were monster pops. Those were Road Warrior pops at the arena.
Crazy.
Because you knew what he was going in there to do. He was just going to show up, choke slam the shit out of somebody, and leave. It was a great gimmick.
He was the inventor of the choke slam, right? He was the first guy to essentially do the choke slam in 94, I want to say.
Pretty much, because the Undertaker wasn't using it really.
Not yet. Yeah,
and then he adds it pretty soon after, because obviously Vince and the boys are watching everything going on at this time.
They're
like, well, that gets pop. Give it to the big man.
I remember, Bill, I'll never forget, Pro Wrestling Illustrated in 1994. I hope there was a huge article on 911. And the dude in the front row, not straw hat guy, there was other guy who had these huge glasses, always had the signs in the front row in ECW Arena. He had a big sign. This might jog a memory. He had a big sign that said dial 911 for murder. And he'd bring it to every show. And that guy was in the article. I'm like, and that was my first time here. I'm like, who the fuck was 911? I'm like, I'm reading this article, and I see him when we got syndication. I'm like, this guy's fucking insane. Then he jumped to WCW, as Rex is pointing out. Totally jobbed him out in WCW. I'm shocked that they did this. Big dude like him, they should turn him into like a nobody in WCW. It sucked. Just took the money, got out. He currently has 8 children. 911.
Whoa, I know one of them wrestles.
Really? Yeah. West Creek, New Jersey.
Like, he still shows up from time to time.
Does he really?
Mm-hmm.
He was the PWI Rookie of the Year in 94. I didn't know that.
That's
probably what the article was. That's crazy.
And I think that's warranted.
That's all. He
was so over.
Yeah.
And that's when the ECW was blowing up.
Oh yeah, Mark. If you remember now, like if you ever,
I remember 911, but I don't remember him being like that. I mean, remember him in ECW, and then
big
I don't remember him in WCW. Like I'm trying.
Very brief. It's like not even a year.
Okay.
But Raven emerges bloody.
Fair.
The match is great though. Just a fun brawl. Crowd is hot. I actually didn't write down the results. Who was this thrown out? What happened on this match?
I didn't write either. I just wrote down this was brutal and bloody. Jesus.
Yeah.
The franchise and New Church won.
That's right. Okay, they did. I totally forgot.
Because Raven comes back and takes everybody out except for Douglas, who he gets distracted, and Douglas spears him through the table.
That's right, through the table spot. That's right. Takes him out. Now it's Douglas gets the win. So that was it, man. Crowd super hot on that one.
Very.
We get the Sting and TNA behind the paint. This is part 5, I want to say.
Jeez,
This is all,
5, yeah.
part 5,000.
Yeah, this is focused on all his Christianity, and that's all this one was.
Yeah,
Sting is reborn.
Get the viewers.
Next.
Yeah, Sting is definitely a born again. So this was a big one to talk about. But that's all it was. It really was nothing.
Yeah, if you remember during this time, I believe if you were just like flipping around the channels, I almost feel like there was an infomercial with him.
There was
DiBiase.
Oh wow,
that whole crew they talk about.
I think Shawn Michaels on there too.
Like, if you were watching a little Saturday morning wrestling and were flipping around, you probably would have seen this shortly after.
This is around the time, Bill, I want to say that the movie came out too. There was a made for TV movie that aired on like the Christian networks. It was called Sting's Moment of Truth. And it's a biopic of Sting. I actually have the DVD. I was such a Sting mark. I bought the movie.
That's 100% little Stinger right there.
I'll bust it out next show. I'll bring it over here. I actually, the Sting Moment of Truth, produced by like the church and everything. But it's a whole biopic about him going through his wrestling career, falling into like all sorts of shit, finding God and everything. It was a TV movie, and I own it on DVD. Actually, funny enough, at Walmart, they got the huge bin of like $5 DVDs, and it's like, here, press your luck and find something in this bin.
Yeah,
I saw it in that bin recently. The Sting Moment of Truth DVD was laying in that fucking bin.
Well, you know why? Because it's topical again. Ever since he went to WWE 30 years ago.
Yeah, they should probably reprint a bunch of shit.
Yeah,
you're right.
Yeah, I think I'd pass on that one. I might hit up Wrestling with Shadows, but I'd probably pass that one up.
That's so funny, isn't it? But all right, so that's all that one segment was. Now, the next one was interesting. It was very reminiscent of show number 1 and 2. They bring out so today's in the ring with a bunch of legends. He's got Sarah Lee, Corsica Joe. They're married. They're Memphis legends. I mean, I recently bought the History of Memphis Wrestling book, and I never realized what a big deal Sarah Lee and Corsica Joe actually were. Sarah Lee ended up working the ticket booth at the Asylum later on. She was a legendary women's wrestler in Memphis, and her husband Corsica Joe, the old guy right there, hugely over in the 60s in Memphis.
Did Memphis have a full-fledged women's title in division? It was
a regional. They used to work for the NWA top. The women's wrestling back then is fascinating. It was all agented out by these like pimp promoters, basically.
Moolah.
Not even Moolah so much. It was oh my god, what was her name? It was actually Moolah's predecessor. Oh, she's slipping my mind. But there was another woman, and her husband were basically ones just running the game.
Oh, it was in that documentary.
It's in the documentary. Yeah, I just cannot remember her name right now. But her husband. No, but it's about the origins of women's wrestling and how they were all booked out. Moolah actually gets a little bit more of a bad rap than she really. It's more of a bad than she really deserved. When you really read about the actual husband and wife who did a lot of this stuff, Moolah got pinned with a lot of crap that she shouldn't have. It's a whole other podcast, but
it was a dark side of the ring, I think.
Yeah, I think it was. They mentioned it. I cannot remember.
I saw it, but I don't remember it. I really don't know anything about Memphis. I feel like that's one territory I should really learn more about. Like, because Lawler used to come through Houston. A lot of the Memphis guys used to come through Houston. But I've never seen any Memphis wrestling really.
It's my favorite territory.
Go to Amazon. It's like there's Memphis wrestling.
Yeah. And, I've seen that on there.
Yeah.
I absolutely love it. I'm a huge Memphis wrestling nerd.
I mean,
I got
like WCCW level.
Oh yeah, it's on that level, man. But it's got a little more it's not almost like cartoonish. It's got a little more character-y stuff to it, which is just Saturday morning stuff, man. It would just hook you, like just awesome stuff. A lot of fun. But anyway, so you got Corsica Joe, Sarah Lee, Ricky Morton, which is cool to see Ricky Morton because he's still fucking around today, which is great. Still going today. Larry Zbyszko, Harley Race is in there, and I'm a mark for Harley because he's legit. Anybody who can be in a head-on collision where the steering column can crush, can get pressed up against your chest to the point where it would kill a normal man, but didn't kill Harley Race because his chest was like a goddamn barrel. That's a fucking man's man right there. That's a guy I can look up to because his chest was games. Did he not? He did not play video games. I don't think he knew how to turn on a fucking phone. But Harley Race is in there, so they're basically putting him over. A little tribute to the legends. Kid Cash comes out. This was interesting. He calls Sarah Lee the first working rat, Bill, in the business history in the 1920s.
He is rough, the kid, on this one.
He tells Corsica Joe, you have Alzheimer's. You won't know what the hell I'm even saying. Corsica Joe shoots him back. It looks like, what the hell's going on here? Like, I have no idea what I signed up for. Like, what am I doing here?
Shit on me when I came out.
Sarah, he says, yeah, I got a lot of business from her. I was like, oh, damn.
Yeah, that was nuts.
Well, Kid Kat absolutely the most out of line shit on camera in the Asylum years. Like the shit he said to Trinity before too. I mean, dude,
unbelievable. Well, they were dating at the time, so they kind of got away with it, you know.
And here's the funny part: he comes out with Abyss, but Abyss is just like doing this, like way up on the stage.
Yeah.
He's like, oh, what does this do? You know, it's just
maybe the hand is Abyss.
Oh, interesting. Okay, hold that thought. Hold till next week. Oh, that's interesting.
The right size.
You got the right side. We didn't even think about it.
That's why I started with somebody not on the roster, because there's more likely people on the roster than not on the roster.
Interesting. Zach in the chat, I also want to ask you a question because you mentioned the Louisville Gardens. Did you get that book, Tuesday Night at the Gardens? It's fantastic, by the way. If you haven't read it yet, it's a really, really good book. And he's going around now. He does make reference that Ricky Morton is his trainer, and Morton punks Cash back out, like he punks him back. Cash slaps Ricky, and then they go after him, but then he holds Sarah Lee hostage in the corner. He like chokes her, and he's like, "You guys back off," or she gets it. I was like, he's like 70 years old.
I was hoping he'd pull a gun,
dude. Like I'm hoping it leads to a match between Morton and Cash. That'd be really cool. Trainer and training, a teacher and student would be awesome. But then this is where now let's spend a few minutes on this. This is the Watts thing. The Watts comes out, makes the save, choke slams Cash, holds up Cash for Harley. Harley gives him a punch, and he's announced as a new director of authority in TNA. So now this is where we need to talk. So like the whole Eric Watts thing. By the way, real quick, pause this. Hakeem, there's the names right here. Billy Wolf, Mildred Burke. That's the husband. Thank you very much, Hakeem. This is the guy, man. This is the research guy right here. I swear. That's the couple. Billy Wolf and Mildred Burke.
Yeah.
That's the two. Anyway, all right, let's talk Watts. I'm gonna let you start, Mark, then go to Bill from that, and then we'll go to Jay.
Oh, I mean, I guess I kind of did already, kind of say what my piece on this, that Watts looks fantastic here in this role. The guy looks like a star. The suit cut is nice. He delivers what he's supposed to deliver. He's great on the mic. He looks intimidating enough to pull off the authority figure role, or to be your heater, or to be your... I don't know. I guess I don't remember liking Watts this much before, and I just am really these last, I don't know, few episodes starting to really come around to Watts. Maybe I'm alone. He just feels so strong now here, and like he should have got another go. Bill disagrees, I can tell, because Bill said earlier. He did make his point earlier.
Well, it's just, and I like Watts. When we see Watts, I'm a fan of Watts. I just think I think this is a perfect role for him. It feels like he's great in small doses. I'll say about Watts, because you're right. He's got the look, he's intimidating, and he can pull off like if he needs to get physical, he can pull off a power move. But it's just you stretch out Watts a little. It seems like that's where he gets flawed. So he's great in backstage segments. He's great in brief mic, and he's great in power moves. But for some reason, he just can't go beyond that, which I would have liked to see, and maybe he could have, but it just seemed like for some reason that just never worked for whatever reason, because he had the Jarrett program and it didn't work. But here, perfect use of him.
Yeah.
Because remember, he is a former star athlete. He's former quarterback at Louisville. Like the guy's he's got a pedigree. Like he's Bill Watts' kid. Like he knows all these celebrities. Like that's a shoot. Like he really had that in. He's kind of better outside of the wrestling, the physical. It's like, hey, you're a top guy. You be the boss. You're good as a authority boss. I like that. So Jay, what do you think, man? Give me your take on this.
I was really confused by all this. I didn't know where this was going. I thought it was just like another big heel Kid Cash segment, because the whole Don Callis thing before, I thought that was like they were introducing him as the authority guy. And I was like, wait, didn't they? So I went back and watched that segment, and no, he's just, what did they call Don Callis in there?
Management consultant.
Management consultant, yes. And so I was confused as hell, and I was like, wait, so Watts is out here taking care of Kid Cash. Okay, that makes sense. They've got a thing. Wait, he's the new director? Oh. Wait, what?
Sadly understood about half of that.
That's what I call it. But yeah, it was goofy. It was, that like they did this a year earlier, and now they're doing it again. So before it was Jarrett, this time it was Kid Cash, but it was to lead to something bigger. It wasn't just wasn't just Jarrett knocking the whole, NWA generation, before him.
Well, Jade, you know what's better than one management angle in a show? 2 management angles in a show.
But hey,
that's Russo booking 101.
Give him more. Give him more. Give him more. They bargained for, bro.
We got a very small Double J dose in this episode.
A lot.
I applaud that. They've cut it down significantly.
Yeah,
very
it's
much.
Like they're
so.
listening a little bit.
Yeah.
I truly think that's what it was. They were at that point where people were sounding off about it, and they're like, I got to do something about this.
Well, and if you want to grow, you can't have a continual champion just or one guy be the focus only. You have to build that roster, as we know.
Yeah. Oh yeah, for sure.
Especially with so much homegrown. You've got Kazarian there, Saban's there, Styles is there.
Kazarian now, at this point. Now let me ask you: I wonder though, what were all the legends doing there? Like, did they fly they got all these people to come in?
Probably local, right?
Well, actually, yeah. Ricky's Nashville. I'm sure Harley came.
Sarah Lee was working.
Sarah Lee was there. Corsica there, obviously. Yeah. Larry Zbyszko is the weird one. I'm like, why? What was he doing? Maybe just in town. Harley maybe came down the student because Siaki trained Harley, or Harley trained Siaki. So
Larry Legend goes wherever the hell Larry Legend wants to go.
That's true.
Larry Zbyszko had worked recently, though, a few months back.
Yeah,
he did. Yeah, he was in the mix. Yeah, you're right. He's in the mix.
It was a while ago, though, like in the 20s or 30s, right, when he had that match.
With the AJ thing, he was doing managing AJ and stuff. Yeah, it was early.
It was early.
He's not that old. Oh, you mean episode number? Yeah.
Yeah.
Episode number. It was like around the mid somewhere in there. Yeah, Zbyszko looked good, man. His 20s.
So yeah, I hope it's leading towards a match between Morton and Cash. I'm a big sucker for teacher versus students kind of stuff. That to me is fun. So let's see if that ends up going that way. We'll find out. That segment ends. Raven and the Gathering appear in the crowd. They challenge the New Church and Shane Douglas to a Clockwork Orange House of Fun 6-man. There was a funny little moment in here, though, if anybody remembers this.
Yeah.
Catch this where
Raven was like, what did he call it originally?
He called it a Clockwork House of Orange. He's like,
he goes, I'm so excited I can't even pronounce it.
Yeah, he's like, I can't even say it the right way. Totally genius. Just covers it up perfectly.
Raven's the greatest to ever do it.
So it's awesome. We get the 6-man next week. All right, main event now. This is it. This is the big one. Let's close this out.
Oh, wait. They do the whole preview of next week, and I'm really excited for that.
If you, I usually don't write down because I just be
so excited.
Go ahead, Jay.
So next week we're getting Saban versus the debut of Michael Shane.
Another. What's the reference to that?
The end, man. We held on to that one till the end of the show.
Jay was so excited.
Michael Shane is another forgotten soldier of early TNA. Absolutely another forgotten.
I loved him when I started watching the brand, and to see him debut this early makes me even more excited. I'm like, oh, cool. So he was there for like 2-3-ish, whatever years.
He's a big part of the company, man. He's a forgotten one. He truly is he did a lot. He did quite a bit in the company.
Said he's Shawn Michaels' cousin.
Yeah,
was that a legit thing, or was that just,
it's legit?
Is it?
It's legit. It is legit.
Okay,
I thought it was like Silas Young is related to Stan Hansen. Legit.
No. This one is legit. This one is legit.
No, it's Silas Young is the dwarfed cousin of Triple H. It's
more likely.
The weird thing is when he changes his name later on to Matt Bentley. Remember that he changes the name to Matt Bentley from Michael Shane. But anyway, but go on. Yeah. So then what else? Anything else for next week?
Jarrett gets his match with Legend.
Mm-hmm.
And then the 6-man Clockwork Orange House of Fun. Yeah, I said it right.
Yeah.
Had to make sure I wrote it down because I knew I was going to say it.
The housework clock of oranges. All right, let's go. All right, this is it, guys. AJ D'Lo, the final, a ladder match This was who won. I mean, I'll let anybody take start about. This was something else, man. Go ahead, Mark.
I don't even think you could play by play this. It was exactly what you think it was. These guys have had a submission match and a match by pinfall. It's the last match on the card. It's the main event. These two guys are, I mean, AJ's peak is still going. He's been peaking for like 20 years, but D'Lo is like absolute peak D'Lo.
Oh man,
dude, the part, I guess I'll just bring up my best moment in the match for me was AJ's slide under the rail. Like that whole sequence of him going under the rail and D'Lo what went off the stairs into a crossbody over the rail, right? Like, man, this whole match flow was perfect. It starts on the stage, right? No, that was
the second one.
Okay, that was the second. Anyways, I don't know. I can't remember the latest shit, but awesome match.
Yeah, a lot of back and forth with this because they're like the gimmicks, like they're corner, outside, over.
Huge spot after huge spot.
And D'Lo keeping up with AJ on this, which once again, you're just like, wow, like D'Lo, the high flyer D'Lo. Like, what the hell's going on around here? Like, he's all over the place.
Oh, yeah.
Freaking splash from the top of the ladder to the outside of the ring through the table. Good night. I was like, they're dead. Call the match. Nope,
I watched it 3 times. And I wish Impact Plus needs that like 10-second and 10 seconds forward and backwards. Can we get that, please? Plus, like the whole Netflix thing and Hulu thing where it's 10 seconds. Right? I wanted to watch the splash over, and if you try to drag it is very fidgety.
Yeah.
That drag is very fidgety.
Yeah.
But I did manage to watch that splash 3 times, and he nails it. Fucking nails it off that.
Dude,
oh my god.
The ladder, as he's leaving the ladder, I mean, you can see it shaking too. I was like, oh my god. Here's
the crazy. Bill, you probably have caught this at tons of shows. When there's a ladder spot where a guy going up to the top like that, when the referee's doing his no, don't, he's usually finding it an excuse to hold the ladder for the guy, stabilize it, right? That it's always like, no, what are you doing?
And you'll still see that a little bit on TV. Obviously, on the indies, they don't even bother anymore. They just hold the ladder.
Yeah,
they don't even try the storyline it anymore. But that's for safety. You don't want a guy killing himself for a spot like that.
No, but here's the thing: Andrew Thomas did not hold the ladder for him.
That ladder was super.
He did not hold. He was doing a lot of the no, don't do it. And I'm like, are you gonna fucking hold it for the guy?
That's a scary spot too. Like I think people underestimate going over the ropes. So much can happen.
Oh, very risky, man.
One rope. And man, oh man, that's a scary spot. Great man.
I mean, it's very, very. I mean, look what happened to Hayabusa, right? I mean, his top of his foot just clipped the middle rope or the rope above when he's doing the line, that lion salt, whatever. And just that's it, fell on his head and paralyzed. I mean, like that little calculation. The one rope saved Vic Grimes. That one rope wasn't there. Vic Grimes would have been a pancake.
Absolutely.
Yep. You know, like
bombs away.
That the rope. Like that clearing the fucking rope is like it's crazy, man. Like
Vic Grimes' life.
Oh my god, yeah.
Dude.
but that aside, D'Lo, I mean, he flew. I mean, he frog splashed it in there too. He even threw like a little pump in there, Jay. Like he
didn't short sell it at all, did he?
Not at all.
And the way that those tables break, and we've talked about this before, where the table breaks, where it bends over where the legs are instead of the legs collapsing.
Yeah.
Yeah. So there was that too. And that was underneath where AJ's legs were. So it's like, oh, you hope to God that something didn't come up through the table and stab him.
Dude, that was messed up. The finish though, Bill, set up that finish though. That finish was interesting. Set this up.
Finish. All right, now we're going to talk about the I'm okay with it getting a little dusty at the end here.
Very dusty.
Yeah, because you get all the crew coming out here.
Mm-hmm.
You get Siaki, you get Russo.
Yeah.
And they obviously get all involved here. Russo's yelling at the ring. There's all kinds of stuff. But then Siaki, I guess, is the one that kind of he gets them knocked down. It's all kinds of wackiness.
Yeah.
But they obviously both wind up on the ladder. They both fall. Same time. at least what seems like the same time to our favorite referee. And then Russo's obviously telling him, AJ won. Borash is in there, tips and all, trying to get an answer.
Yeah.
And then the official ending is
it's Rudy.
They go NFL. And because there's no clear winner, the champion remains. That's an ending. That's a wrestling ending.
Yeah.
You just took a incredible match, even with some shit at the end to make it. But how do you rule that? Like that made a person that went, this was pretty good, go, this sucks.
Yeah.
It was a shit ending.
It put a weird cap on 3 great matches to me. And I was like, at that point, I would have been fine if AJ won it clean. You didn't have to protect D'Lo to me at that point.
And I was even hoping that they would go to a segment or something, like to close the show on that was really an awful feeling too.
Yeah.
It was such a strong episode. I would recommend this episode to anyone.
Big time. 55's up there.
To go back and spot check an episode of old Asylum Years is a good one to do. But man, that ending was just shit. We did forget to mention too that spot where D'Lo hit the table and it didn't break. And
it didn't break. Yes.
And he almost hit the concrete. Whoa, that was a scary. This match had everything.
Oh, he like bounced off and hit the announcing table.
Crazy. And then onto the concrete after that. That was
it's never good when a table doesn't break. It's never good.
He barely glanced it. It wasn't the Matt Hardy at Double or Nothing, but it was pretty bad.
It was that was a rough, but you're right. Ending it on that.
Now here's Rex.
Go ahead.
Champion regains if there's not a clear winner. Is that in the rule book?
Oh, sorry.
Is it? NWA rulebook?
I don't know, Rex. Is that? I just feel like
that's what they say, but I feel like that was seat of their pants.
I just feel like it was. You didn't. If you weren't giving it to D'Lo, you didn't need to do it. It would have been fine if AJ squeaked out a victory. It's a ladder match. You're protected anyway. It's luck of the fucking draw.
Act like you went to the videotape or something, and like he got there just a hair off.
I would have been fine with it. It wouldn't have hurt D'Lo at all to me because the guy came out like a star in the whole thing.
And again, to cut out of show to go to fade to black on that, leaves you as a fan. The last thought in your mind is that was bullshit. They should have given it a segment or something to ugly finish.
It just makes you hate Russo and AJ.
It's a heat spot, no question about it. It's heat.
Yeah.
I just think because AJ's running on champion at how long at this point? He's at a few months now up until this reign.
Months,
yeah, it's decent.
You could have even changed it and it would have been fine. Honestly, it was just like, man, D'Lo would have popped the territory, kind of thing. Like it just, you could have he was prime. It was so prime. But again, if you weren't going to do it, you didn't need all the fluff at the end. Did not need all this to happen. So,
and I bet you the rationale here is that D'Lo is not a homegrown guy like AJ and Jarrett. And, I'm sure there were a million business reasons not to put it on D'Lo, but you could have pulled like the Mick Foley shit and put it on him to pop the crowd for just a bit.
And just, run it off in a couple of weeks too. You could have done. I mean, you could have. We're looking at revisionistly. Who knows what's going on behind the scenes. Yeah. But I agree with you. Fading to black on a decision ending. It's like, come on. Look, that's where we're going with this. A little weird. But overall, I'm going to give this episode is a fantastic. 55 gets a complete green light that if you, like Mark said, if you haven't checked out TNA, if you have not seen Asylum, this is on the list of throw 55 on too. Like that's a good one that exemplifies the flow of the company, the look, the crowd aesthetic, the workmanship of the company. It's like this is a perfect one that exemplifies all that. And I think they really started hitting that gear in this episode. This is a good one, man. Any closing thoughts, anybody? I'm gonna close it out. Aside from that. We're really enjoying that soundbite way too much. I guess that's it. AJ won, and
that final just cherry on that. What you were saying, Trent. If you're an AJ Styles fan, even if you don't want to watch this whole episode, you should go back and watch these 3 matches. Kid performs like out of his boots in all 3 matches, and they're very different matches from each other. Just
AJ is an anomaly.
Yeah, he's some kind of fucking freak. AJ Styles isn't human.
Didn't grow up a wrestling fan. Didn't give a shit about it until he got older. Like he was, I think he was a baseball guy. Like didn't like he just a phenomenal. I guess all you could say.
It's the most fitting moniker for a wrestler ever.
Like,
AJ Styles is untouchable.
I think of this generation, he's the best of all.
Stay tuned for next week.
There we go. Oh, okay, cool. All right, Rex. Rex already watches ahead. I love it. I love that. He's already ready to go. Rex and Eric J-Bone. Eric watched all like 114 in like the beginning.
Already. Lakers watches ahead too.
Does Lakers watch ahead? He's never in the live chat on Thursday anymore.
Yeah.
Some guys have watched ahead already. But I watch day of so I can be fresh and just talk about it. So I like watching it.
Eric messaged me once. He's like, I burned through all of them.
He's like, I watched all 114.
Hardcore. That's
in a row?
In a row?
I don't know if I could take that much in a row.
Not a row. Maybe 37.
Did you watch any TNA on your way through the parking lot?
37.
Rex, he's currently watching.
Including me?
Yeah, is that including me? Fuck. Great Clerks reference. All right, guys, we're gonna wrap it up. Let's get the plugs going. That 30 says next week, number 56. Like I said, watch it now. Be ready. Watch it on Impact Plus. Get on there, guys. Get start. These are fun to watch. They're really, really cool to watch if you're not watching already. But let me just run down real quick what our schedule is. Thursday, as you know, this is the throwback show. Every Thursday we do it for Throwback Thursday. On Sunday, a couple days from now, we do the Impact Plus Weekly and the Open Forum discussion. We're gonna Mark gave me a great suggestion. I'm gonna run it by you two as soon as we get off the air about something about Impact Plus. We're gonna try it out this weekend. And then Tuesday is the flagship show, Impact and Access TV. You don't know who the hell is gonna show up on this show now. This is turning into like basically, Bill, you can stop paying for Celebration, Bill. They're basically on your podcast now, which is great. All the Celebration folks are here now.
I'm going to make an appearance on the main show soon, I think.
Yeah, come on. You're always welcome anytime. But we got guests are coming up all the time. We'll announce them on our Twitter and everything. So Tuesday, so we're going earlier now. Remember, guys, we're going to start like 5 minutes after Impact ends now. We're like, Impact ends. They're going to, Jay and Bill are going to finish up the
co-stream. Yeah.
The co-stream. I'm sorry. Yeah. So they're going to do the co-stream. They're going to wrap. They're basically going to pitch you to the other one. Like the wrestlers will be in the other one, waiting for these two to come in, and then we start. We are the post show, like post show. Like we are in. So official, unofficial. So that's Tuesday night. So don't forget, and then hang out at the co-stream on Twitch with these two as well. So that's the schedule. Let's get the plugs in your Mark. Where can people follow you on Twitter? You're very active throughout the day.
Yes, I am a very, very active all day long. Twitter is my primary and almost only social media.
Yep.
Mark World Order, MARKQ. That's it. Find me on Twitter.
Get him on Twitter, guys. Cool. Bill, where you at on the Instas and the Twitters?
The Twitter and the Instagram, my name, William M. Gardner, GARDNER. And stay tuned. Planning to do a special unboxing at lunchtime tomorrow.
There you go.
The YouTube and the Twitter. So some stuff is piled up. Got some Shop Impact, got some Impact eBay store, got some stuff from some of the roster members. So
we'll see. Shit, I got to tune in here.
Shows up in the boxes.
You know, I'm gonna see Bill. What time you doing that? Noon my time then? Is that what you're doing? What are you thinking about?
Or I'll go 1 p.m. my time, noon your time.
How about that? I got no meetings on the calendar. I'm gonna jump in there. I'm gonna let Bill do it. Bill, I might do a little. I'll do some keywording for you behind the scenes. I'll take care of your behind the scenes work. You hang out. You do your thing. But Fire and Flavor headband.
Who knows? That could be similar to maybe some stuff that's getting unboxed tomorrow.
Very cool. So guys, join Bill tomorrow, Twitch and YouTube, right back here. Unboxing about 12 hours from now. He's on again. It's a Bill solo unboxing. Bill, we gotta make some regular. I think anytime you order merch, let's do this. I think people like your unboxing.
Yes, it's been a while. There was one other one, but it's this will be part 2. I let it build up a little bit. Sometimes I do it on the show. Like if you watch the watch along, sometimes I do it on the watch along. It's like we get some more people in the room. We get some subs. I'll open a box.
There you go.
That's kind of a game show. Yeah, that's kind of a nice little Easter egg for the watch along too. I'm excited for your eBay boxes. Those are the best ones.
So here you go, Bill. Zach, I'm gonna go with Zach here. I want some pictures on the Instagram first before you do anything else.
He wants it on the gram. He wants it on the gram. I think I know why he wants pictures on the gram.
He wants materials. What he wants. That's awesome.
Zach,
That's awesome. That's awesome. Girl, very cool. All right, so great follow up. J-Bone, get all your plugs in here for Smash. Get all that stuff going on here.
You can find me over in that other little podcast called Smash This Podcast, where we're smashing all things wrestling this weekend to kind of get back into the swing of things on the up north stuff. I am going to be covering the Royal Rumble. So
did you say did you say the
you guys swing
of things?
That's right.
Swing of things, yeah.
There better not be any surprises in that Rumble, that women's Rumble. That's all I have to say.
That's kind of why I'm covering it, because this is an interesting year. I mean, last year was an amazing year. This year is like, well, you never know. So, yeah, you can find Smash This Podcast over on Twitch and YouTube and all the socials, the Facebox, the Twitter box, and the Instanet. And also, for your bone on the go, you can get Smash This Podcast on anchor.fm/Smash This Podcast.
Very nice. Very cool. Guys, also don't forget Fridays. What I'll do is, since Bill will be going live about noon my time, 1 Eastern, we're going to release. So every Friday is a new episode of Impacted. The TNI UK team goes live with their weekly digest. It's just going to be Bison and Steve this week. Joe is out due to the passing of his father from a few weeks ago. It just had the service. Joe is out this week. Please send your condolences to Joe on Twitter. He's a Joke empty space. JOK empty space on Twitter. So give Joe condolences. Rough week for Joe. But the TNI UK release will be going out tomorrow. I will release it an hour early because Bill will be going on at the normal time. So TNI UK Impacted going out about noon Eastern, 11 Central. So check that out. Watch that. Stay for Bill. Put it that. That's your lead into Bill. Bill, it's a lead in for you tomorrow.
There you go.
So check that out.
Lead-in.
There you go. Perfect lead-in. So that'll be Bison and Steve, newcomer to their team, breaking down the week's talk and stuff. Not too heavy of a news week this week. So just talking Impact and Access, Dynamite, that kind of thing. But
we can't forget to say a happy birthday to the one and only Sharkboy.
I can turn it on anytime, Pat. Come on, no problem.
Come on, we gotta go. I did put up a picture of him and New Jack today on our Twitter. It's the name of better duo. We'll wait. So Sharky liked it too.
He did like it. He did like it.
It's the first time he put us over. Finally.
Give it a shell, yeah.
We should get a shell, yeah. We got a retweet. I'll take that as a shell, yeah. But all right, guys, you can get me at Trent's-a-Berry over on Twitter, and the show at We Talk Impact, Twitter, Facebook, and Instagram. Just type in We Talk Impact or Total Nonstop Impact. Come right up. Go ahead and search that. Connect with us. We're on all the social media, so definitely feel free to connect with us. Audio of this show, all major audio podcast platforms: Apple Podcasts, Stitcher, SoundCloud, Google Play, iHeartRadio, TuneIn Radio, Spotify, Pandora, Amazon. Your Alexa will play us. Your Google Play or Google Home will play us. Rate, review, subscribe. Connect with us there. Take it on the go. That's what Mark listens on Spotify. When he's not on the show, he listens on Spotify. So Spotify is a great source as well. ProWrestlingTees.com/Total Nonstop Impact. Twitch.tv/Total Nonstop Impact. YouTube.com/Total Nonstop Impact. And Discord. Join the Discord. Basically, the days between the broadcasts, the party continues in Discord. So jump in Discord. The Treehouse is in Discord. There's Throwback Talk in Discord. There's Pizza Talk in Discord. There's Impact on that.
Hey, Vince Russo, how you doing?
There you go. There's also great timing on that one. But all sorts of extra talk going on. So in between, if you can't get enough, you just want to keep chatting with the crew and the listeners, jump in Discord. The links below in the description here. So hop in there, take a look, and hang out. And I think that's it. So grab yourself a t-shirt, guys. That does it for us. That's anything else? Am I missing anything, Bill?
No, I think you got it.
I think we got everything. So guys, join us on Sunday, Impact Plus Weekly. Have a great weekend, everybody. Be safe. Things are starting to slowly come back to life out there. That things are moving along. Be safe. Let's continue to be safe. We can get back to shows. And one day, we'll all be at a goddamn show together, at a fan fest together, getting pictures together. All of us will have a great, grand old time. So let's all be good. Have a great weekend, everybody. We'll talk to you on Sunday night. Take care. Look out for Bill and TNI UK, Bison Steve tomorrow, and then following him, them's going to be Bill doing the unboxing. Keep an eye right here on all the channels. Live unboxing. He's got a shit ton of stuff to open. This might be a 3-hour video tomorrow. So join him. Guys, NWA-TNA number 56 next week. Get Impact Plus. Watch it with us. We'll be right back here next Thursday night. We'll talk to you guys later. Have a great night, everybody. Good night.